7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening and welcome to Tales from the Undertaker. I am the Undertaker. Your regular GM is unavailable due to technical difficulties. No, actually, I'm still here. Yes, no, we do have technical difficulties. So you get to look at this lovely image of me as portrayed by a lovely artist by the name of Julia, who works for ForceDX. Yeah, it's a really awesome picture. But yeah, so we're gonna get straight into this because we are running a little bit behind. So terribly sorry about that. And as always, to kick us off, we will indeed be speaking to the Undertaker as he fills us in on the events of last time. Greetings and salutations. As always, I am the Undertaker, purveyor of all things grisly and gruesome here in Ustalav, and keeper of the dead. When last we left our sweepers, they were in, well, quite a bit of trouble in Carrion Hill, as hordes of the undead marched their way through the streets. They frantically searched for survivors. As time progressed, it seemed almost futile until they found their way to Crown Manor. Beneath the very stones, they found the sewers leading to a group of survivors. One such survivor was of some note to the young Khalil, Rosenvale Helsing, one of the few in the organization of his idol, Valentine Helsing, had managed to save and capture a large group of survivors and hold them. However, we found that the group were unable to escape with the survivors due to the fact that the only way out was a large sewer tunnel leading to the bay. With a long swim ahead, it was certain that doom would follow, so the group needed to find ulterior methods to escape. They ended up searching for Neville, the alchemist, whom they had come to save. They searched and found the Pharasman Church. That's right. Sorry, I'm still reading all my notes. The Pharasman Church, and they found the young Neville hiding quietly, blaming himself for the terrible occurrence. But thankfully, Darby and his cunning understanding of alchemy had proven that it was in fact not his fault. But alas, the young alchemist required more evidence, and thus we find our adventurers in the abandoned lab across the road, under attack, under siege by a mysterious, bloodied foe, wielding pistols that belong to none other than Rosenvale. Will they survive? Will they manage to overtake this horrible turn of events? And will they indeed return Neville safely to the arms of his beloved uncle? Stay tuned and we'll find out. All right, guys. Sorry about that intro. It was a little bit impromptu. I did also miss out on the fact that you do have one particular ally who has been helping you quite valiantly. A large, monstrous companion by the name of Pogo. An Otyug who had been found eating garbage below the streets, befriended the group and has in fact been helping clear the way and clear the path for our heroes to be able to, carry on their adventure. Now, with you all hiding in cover as bullets fly through the air, you have, however, managed to harry the skeleton wielding Rosenvale's pistols. Last we left, it fired into the air. A magic pistol that seems to be possessed with a mind of its own soars towards the building that you are hiding in, seeming undeterred by the cover that you are finding yourself in. As you wince, closing your eyes for a moment, as the bullet flies towards you, there is a spurt of blood as one of you is hit critically.
Critically? It's... Oh, no!
You hear a large thud on the ground in front of you. each open your eyes and see a hulking mass in front of the building.
Not Pogo.
No.
What?
You see the still image of a Otyug lying in front of the store. It slowly quivers and moves, standing to its feet. It seems to be shielding you for the moment. You have lost sight of the bloody skeleton with the pistols. You hear the sound, bang, 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 as bullets continue to fly. You see flashes of light around the edges of Pogo. You know that the time that you have is precious. What do you do? Keeping in mind, of course, that Darby, you had found a trap door within the building itself. The building, as mentioned, is in somewhat of ruins. And, of course, the back area of the alchemy lab has been blown out to the back alley. So there's also that way out from where you guys are.
Yes, everyone, there's a secret tunnel down here.
But Pogo's gonna die.
Yeah, we gotta help Pogo.
But Pogo is probably going to turn into one of those things.
No, how could you say that? Pogo would never betray us like that.
He's not doing it on purpose.
How grim does Pogo look? Like,
you can't actually see any of Pogo's wounds from where you are. It basically because he wasn't shot from the back. As he stands, you can basically imagine, based on like the bullet wounds from before, the kind of damage he's suffering. He's a large target, and obviously the skeleton is quite skilled, with the weapon. So you imagine that there is some significant damage.
We should go to the escape hatch.
It won't be forgotten, Pogo.
We'll hold a vigil.
We will hella hold a vigil for Pogo.
Yeah.
I was expecting one of us to die, and I was going to be okay with that, but I was not expecting Pogo to die, and I'm really upset.
All right, let's get going.
You know, I'm so glad you guys can't see my face. I feel like it ruined my reputation if you could see my expression compared to yours.
Oh,
I feel like that's a.
We can see your face.
We can still see it.
Oh, can you?
yeah,
Oh,
we can see you.
I'm like borderline laughing. Okay. So anyway, continuing on. Whoops. All right. So as you make your way towards the escape hatch, you lift it up and find a staircase leading down into what appears to be a cellar beneath the alchemy lab. Heading down, there is a certain pungent smell. Definitely smells like tar and herbs and other alchemical smells that Darby would be quite familiar with. In addition, you can actually see along the walls, literally etchings, as if someone had like carved chemical symbols and arcane runes throughout it. Darby, you don't need to roll for this because you rolled amazing last time.
Right.
You look at this and it definitely matches a whole bunch of the research that you found with Neville earlier on. Obviously a little bit more advanced and a lot more inclusive of all of his research, but again, you still find absolutely no evidence that would support the raising of undead. It's kind of like trying to figure out a way for like sort of you to start a fire with water. I mean, it like with just water, it's impossible. Like this, like what he has here just doesn't add up.
This is all etched on the wall.
Yes. Yeah. Oh well, sorry. Etched in the wall, papers on the table, pin-up notes, little, all these kind of things. And even if you look and explore some of the chemicals and the labels, everything adds up.
Okay. Can Darby would like to grab anything that he can take to convince Nevin that he didn't cause this.
Well, everyone can make me a perception check as they begin to explore this area.
For Raylan.
Don't you mean Raylan rolled 15?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. Raylan, you find basically you find a cupboard. And upon opening the cupboard, you find not a cupboard, but in fact another staircase that seems to lead elsewhere.
Oh, interesting.
Darby got a 19, and he was kind of looking for any maybe interesting formula or.
You have not found any interesting formulas or books. However, you did find a very small and very intricate-looking chest. And within the chest, you find several wands and a couple of potions. You can attempt to identify these with either a spellcraft check, or in the case of the potion, you can have a little taste and make a craft alchemy check.
Okay. Yeah, I do have a rank in spellcraft. So you said spellcraft and alchemy?
Spellcraft for the wands, absolutely. But you, and as well for the potions as well, but you can use craft alchemy if you don't have,
Alright. So the spellcraft was 16.
A 16, eh? Ooh, and what were you using that on? Were you using that on the wands or the
On
potions?
wands.
Okay. With a 16, you don't seem to be able to identify the wands.
Can I kind of look over his shoulder and
I don't really know
do a
what
spell
these
check
are,
as
but
well?
I'll take a little sip of the potion.
Mm-hmm.
24.
All right, with a 24, you have the following potions. You have 4 potions of cure moderate wounds,
Nice.
Sweet.
2
Everyone
potions
make
of
up
lesser
potions.
restoration,
What was that?
2 potions of lesser restoration, 4 potions of stone skin,
Are you writing this down?
Yeah, I was just trying to find this.
I was like, is he memorizing this? What's going on?
It was
faster.
2 potions. No, you said 4 potions of cure moderate wounds,
Okay,
right?
I'll go through it again. You ready? Here we go. 4 potions of cure moderate wounds,
Mm-hmm.
2 potions of lesser restoration,
Restoration.
4 potions of stone skin,
Nice.
and what appears to be some glue. Sovereign glue, in fact.
Nice.
And a dose of universal solvent. Now, for those of you who want to know, sovereign glue is like super glue.
Right.
Oh, and let's just say, let's see, with some dice. Give me a dice. I should roll something now. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Okay, fair enough. 5 tar bombs.
Nice.
Damn. Jesus.
Well, more than just bags of tar, but in your case, they're tar bombs.
Yeah. Can I evaluate the wands as well?
Yes, please make a spellcraft check. Keeping in mind, of course, that spellcraft is a trained skill.
Yeah. I have
If you've got a train.
I have. It is probably my most trained skill, which is crazy. 25.
Oh, yeah, with a 25, you identify these scrolls.
That means you can
The
make us
first
magic
is-
items.
The first is a wand of water breathing with 40 charges.
Ready?
40 charges. Are you going to write this down?
I got
He's
it.
got it.
Oh, okay.
The second wand is a flesh to stone wand with 4 charges in it.
Flesh to stone.
Sorry, stone to flesh. Other way around. Sorry, my bad.
Oh.
Stone to flesh.
Interesting.
And 1 wand of stone shape with 5 charges in it.
Alright. Well, we can divvy these up how we want to, but I have it all written down for like a group thing.
Awesome. How do you want to how do we want to deal with these potions? And stuff?
Well, all of us can take a potion of Cure Moderate Wounds.
I think
Pretty
that's a good
even
idea.
split.
And then I think you should just hold on to the rest of them and throw them to us when we need them.
Yes.
But we'll all have a potion.
Okay. Yeah, we'll figure out the rest of it later.
Does anybody else want to hold on to like a wand?
So we have wands of
No.
stone to skin. We have a wand of water breathing, and then a wand of
Stone shape and a wand of hide from undead.
and a wand. Oh, we still have.
Oh, yeah, we still have
that.
And it has, I think that is 5 charges,
Yeah,
right?
so
Yes.
let's just have him hold on to all of it. For
Yeah.
now, and then
Yeah,
we
that
can-
sounds good.
Okay, Dobby, you
Grab
better
it
not
later.
die.
We'll get it off his step
I'm
fine.
I'm probably not the best person to carry everything. I'm not very strong.
You know what? Give me all the wands. Give me all the. Do you want me to carry all the wands and such?
Sure.
Cool. Let's go down these stairs.
Yeah, let's do this. We gotta get out of here.
Up the stairs.
Oh.
We gotta go up the stairs.
Cool.
All right. Ascending the staircase, you find yourself at a trapdoor that seems to lead out into the street, some distance away from the actual alchemy lab. It's some sort of weird trick of the architecture, so it looks like you didn't travel very far, but in fact have actually traveled quite some distance. As you emerge, you find yourself about maybe 5 minutes away from where the church was. And literally, as you emerge onto the street, you can see to the left and right of you, a horde of the undead, shoulder to shoulder, literally clambering over each other to try and reach you.
Excellent.
Now, this is definitely in the vein of dangerous cow zombies.
So you
Oh,
two might
shit.
want to each you might want to drink these potions of stone skin.
I mean, I'm just gonna channel real quick
Yeah.
We'll let
before we
Raven
do
do everything,
anything.
But I mean, you should hold on to them.
Okay, we'll take them.
They're
Yeah.
very good for people who get up in people's faces. I believe
Okay, so I
mechanically
channel
they give you damage resistance
to harm undead,
5 to like certain types.
Sweet.
and I rolled a 2 for damage. Raylan rolled a 2
Okay.
for damage.
All right, as you do so, a whole bunch of them do end up injured. However,
Yeah, I didn't.
you notice that as a few of them fall out from the front, they are almost swept into the mass of the horde.
Holy sh!
And they continue to press forward, almost completely unabated
So
by...
both sides of us are just full.
Alright, I think it's time to pull out that wand of hide from undead.
Indeed.
Yeah, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we
All
do
right.
that.
I think we should try to make our way to the lighthouse.
I think that's a really good idea.
Well, we're underground right now. aren't we?
No, we
No, we just
merged.
came out.
Merge,
Do we have to give what's his face's notes? I guess we could do that later.
Yeah, he's gonna be fine.
Yeah, we can do that after. So I say we each hide from undead
All right.
and try to make our way to the lighthouse.
Is that a used magic device rolled each time?
Oh, we'll get to that right after you guys roll me some initiative.
We should
All right,
probably
guys,
look
so,
what the spell actually does too.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, to reiterate and build up the scene a bit more, you guys are in a 20-foot wide alleyway with a horde of undead on either side of that alleyway that seem to be moving in. There is no scope of how far the horde is, right? You can't tell. You literally just see a blockade on either side. In front of you is the wall to another shop that obviously hasn't been blown up, and the wall behind you appears to be to that of a cheesery, or whatever you call a place that sells fine cheeses. You see on in the building across the road there is a ladder, but it's not ground level. It's like maybe 10 foot up in the air and seems to lead up onto the top of the roof there. There are also several bits of debris, like, sort of large bags, boxes, that kind of thing, crates that are scattered around the alleyway. It's not really used for a lot of traffic, but obviously until today. And you guys are currently standing, again, outside the cellar door. Okay, so what do we get for initiatives?
Raylan has a 6.
Yep.
Darby got a 7.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Geralt got a 15.
Khalil got a
Wunderbar.
20.
Oh.
Oh, Khalil.
First time I've gone first.
All right, now who is holding the wands currently?
That'd be Khalil.
Khalil has all the wands.
Very well, Khalil. You are currently in possession of all the wands, and luckily enough, you get to go first. So, what do you do as the horde looks at you with hungry eyes? Oh, hide from undead. Allow me to clarify what hide from undead does, because I feel like that is something our audience would like to know as well.
Yes.
Okay, so hide from undead is a very unique and special spell. It basically allows, basically it stops undead from hearing, seeing, or smelling the warded creature. Any kind of extraordinary sense, like blind sense, blind sight, life sense, scent, tremor sense, all of this is negated as undead creatures are no longer able to perceive them. However, intelligent undead are afforded a saving throw to try and bypass the ward and be able to perceive you nonetheless. If a warded creature, however, attempts to channel positive energy, command the undead, or touches an undead creature, or attacks any creature, it will break their invisibility.
So we can't walk through them.
Oh, wait, sorry. I should also point out, it'll end the thing, but you only need to cast it once, and it'll actually, like, each charge will cover all of you.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Nice.
So we can't,
Yeah.
like, graze them at all in any sense?
No, you have to actively avoid them.
Okay. All
Hmm.
right, cool. But there's a ladder, right? If I'm correct.
There is. That is correct.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah,
All right,
so
I'll
you
use
should cast that.
that. Is there any check or anything like that?
Do the thing.
Is there any what?
Check for using the wand.
Yeah. Oh, wait, hang on. Give me 2 seconds. Yes, for you there is. Please make a use magical device check. The difficulty of which is 20, if you wish to. Also, I appear to be back on. So I'm gonna. Hey, guys.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey, welcome back, Michael.
Thanks, guys.
What?
Use magic.
I
Yeah.
am trained.
Okay.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, and you get like
I don't know,
plus 10,
I-
right?
Plus 4. Not
Okay.
the strongest.
I got some use magic.
I do apologize for my stream earlier on. I was feeling a bit flat.
Oh.
How long have you been waiting for that joke?
Like literally this whole episode so far.
Ready?
Oh.
Oh, so close. I got a 6.
That,
6.
that's not close.
No, I mean,
All right.
something that's around it.
Oh, I thought you. All right. So basically, as he holds up his wand, you see the eldritch energy swish and swing past the tip of his wand, and then it goes.
Khalil, I don't
And,
think that's what we were looking for.
Everyone just make your way to
And
the
it is
ladder.
And it doesn't seem to discharge. However, you do expend one of the uses.
Throw it to me.
That was a standard action. You've still got your move action, so you can most certainly pass it to one of your other allies.
Yeah, I guess I'll toss it to Raylan over here.
All right.
She asked first.
We then.
No, I can already see it.
You know, yeah. All I was imagining was like she tries to catch it, it falls down the drain.
Like, well,
Hey guys, look. Can you take a $5? No. Okay. Geralt, you're up next.
all right. Well, I guess we probably need to start getting towards that ladder. So Geralt is going to attempt to kind of jump for the ladder. Maybe do
Okay,
like
make
a
an
parkour running up the wall and then.
Nice.
All right, acrobatics check as you attempt to jump off some boxes, do a flip, grab a knee and grab the lower rung, and then sort of. Okay, now this is what. I'll tell you what you do if you actually make it. So I'm not going to describe it and then just have you fall on your.
All right, here we go.
That
no.
doesn't happen.
It didn't happen. 6.
All right. As he jumps through and as he reaches for the lower rung, he sort of like, you know, there's this moment of absolute epicness. You could see like the cherubs sort of singing in the background as his hands reaching forward for the ladder rung, and he realizes that he's like still like 5 foot away from it. Like, because he's a halfling and he's so short, he just had no chance of making that jump when he did, and he just sort of goes, huh! And then he just lands like underneath it, as you know. Like, you know, yeah.
I almost got it, guys.
That didn't quite work out.
It looks pretty cool.
No, it didn't.
All right, next up we have Darby.
So are there currently zombies around the ladder?
No.
All right,
No,
I'll just
they
run
are-
towards the ladder and try to do the same thing
Okay.
with full, like,
All right,
regular-sized person
acrobatics.
arms.
Acrobatics.
Acrobatics, as he leaps up onto the boxes, does a flip, takes a knee,
No,
and
I don't do
rises
any of that.
himself
I
up.
don't do any of that.
I heard that you tried to do exactly what Geralt did. That's what I heard. Anyone else hear that?
Yes.
That
I
is
heard it.
exactly what he said.
Anyway, I got a 17.
Oh.
With a 17, this time he actually does reach up and grab hold of the lower rung, and he sort of pulls himself up, scrambling, and he is now on the ladder.
Nice.
Which very easily, I mean, it's not actually that hard. I mean, I could make you do a climb check. I mean, is your climb check less than 5?
Yes, it's -2.
What?
Oh,
Oh, God.
Make a climb check.
roll high.
Oh, no.
Unless I have that potion, then I have a climb speed, but I don't always have that potion. 6.
As you turn to look at your comrades, like, yeah, I made it, you try to grab the other rung, and as you do, you haven't actually turned to face the rung, so you completely miss grabbing it, and you fall back down and land in the mud.
Not long.
Like right next to
It was
Geralt.
a good attempt, Dobby.
Right next to Geralt.
Next time.
Still
Whatever.
cool.
Okay. And now, will the swarm go or will Raylan? Tune in next week. No. No, not that horrible. Oh, man. How mad. No, we go to... Raylan, you're up.
Okay, so I'm gonna use the wand. Do I have to use magical device?
You most certainly do.
Even it. Okay, damn. I was hoping
You
maybe-
don't have it trained.
Which
do
wand
you?
are you using?
I mean, it is a potion that I know, but it's.
Oh,
or a
actually,
spell that I
no,
know.
hold up. Actually, hold up. Sorry. I completely apologize. That is bad. Bad, Ask A Pathfinder. You should know better. You are indeed a cleric / oracle, and thus you do not actually need to cast use magical device at all. You just simply can cast it because you are made of that much wind source.
Dang.
Cool. Do I have to do a touch still or anything like that?
Well, I would say that given the location of everyone, I'm happy to say that you can stand between Darby, Geralt, and Khalil and act like kind of like a bridge.
Cool.
You know, like you can basically get a hand on each of them as long as Geralt agrees to touch Darby.
Yeah, I'll touch Dobby.
All right. Cool.
All right. And suddenly you feel no different.
Oh.
But
You feel like nothing's happened.
I think that's okay.
Are we okay, Raylan?
I don't think they can see us or smell us.
Or hear you, luckily.
Yeah, good thing they can't hear you
all right.
scrambling up the stairs. God.
All right. The horde suddenly loses its energy as it slowly begins to wade towards you. It seems like it's looking for something, but then it sort of gets bored and distracted and continues to just sort of amble around, listening and trying to perceive. Now, here are your options. Number 1, you can head back through the alchemist secret tunnel, back to the alchemy lab, and try and get out through there. Number 2, you can try and brave the cheese shop. Number 3, you can attempt to try and climb onto the roof and take the roofs as well. Or number 4, which I should also mention, you could try to very slowly, very skillfully slink through the masses, which will be the most direct route to the lighthouse.
I'm partial to cheese.
I do like cheese.
I'm a little hungry. I could go for
Yeah,
some
I think we
cheese.
should check out the
What if there's
cheese.
monsters on the roof still, though?
Then we get to eat cheese. I don't understand the problem here.
You guys want to go through the cheese shop?
Yeah.
Let's go through the cheese
We
shop.
will eat.
Very well. You make your way into the cheese shop.
Like how
Oddly enough,
we all attempted to get up the ladder. We just ignored it. And just walked away.
2 of us tried to get up the ladder, failed, and then we just walked away.
Well, I wasn't gonna do it. You guys already made it look foolish.
I tried my hardest. It's not easy.
Okay.
You know, for me,
all right.
for you, it's like 10 feet. For me, it's like 20 feet.
It was very cool.
all right. So as you open the back door, inside, you can see a wide variety of cheeses scattered around and on the floor. And in the middle of the room, feasting on the cheese, putting it into a toothy maw that seems to just drop to the floor as it goes through its hollow form, appears to be one of these bloodied skeletons wearing the feathers. It hasn't seemed to have noticed you yet.
How far away is it?
It's about 15 foot away in the center of the room upon a table. It seems to be enjoying some very chewy brie, but you can watch as basically this mixture of blood and cheese just sort of falls out of its gut. It seems to be
cheese.
Hold on.
I'm sure there's...
I have 1 Cure Light Wounds left. I could walk up to it and cast that spell on it.
Are you sure
I also
it's not going to be
have...
enough to kill it, is it, Raylan?
I have a
I
lot
don't
of
think it is.
Tanglefoot bags.
And it'll cancel the spell we just had.
I have a Tanglefoot bag.
I have a lot of Tanglefoot bags. I could throw it at it while it's unawares and glue it to the ground. So it
I don't
can't
know. I
run
kind
away.
of like Raylan's idea though.
No, I think we should try Darby's idea first, and if that doesn't work, then I'm gonna touch it.
I'm all for fighting, but do we want to waste our invisibility to undead right now?
Well, he still has a chance to detect us because he's
These
one
are
of the
the ones
smarter
we're trying
ones.
to, like, we need to kill
We need to kill
anyway.
them.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta take these guys out.
Yeah.
Darby is going to very gingerly take one of his Tanglefoot bags and like granny shot it.
All right. As you reach for your Tanglefoot bag, you pause momentarily as the creature stops eating.
Uh-oh.
I also
It
have
turns
sleight
its
of
head
hand, if that makes a difference.
No, it's fine. It turns its head upwards. You see it sort of sniffing through its nostrils. It turns to face you directly. Its red eyes piercing. It then turns and returns to eating its cheese.
Maybe we should just try to get out of here.
Make your attack.
I think we
Okay,
gotta.
go ahead. Go
If
ahead.
you
We
wish.
gotta.
Yeah,
I think we gotta take
kill
these
it.
things out.
Second out.
Don't be scared, guys.
Oh shit, it's all going terribly. I ruined everything.
Also, Raylan,
She can't
I
hear
do
you.
love the role play. Oh, can't she? Oh,
I
why?
just accidentally knocked out her headphones.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you missed out on the bit where I explained why your character's now dead.
Oh no.
No, you are, however, spooked.
Oh.
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 All of us?
No, just Raylan.
Oh, okay.
Because, again, with the roleplay side of things, I love the fact that when people kind of, play like, oh, wow, we should be careful, we should be kind of cautious about this, you gain that condition, which, in turn, gives you an initiative bonus should you happen to fight.
Cool.
So to hit with the Tanglefoot bag, I got a 23.
A 23, eh? Well, all of a sudden, a giant splat hits the creature in the back as the sticky web of Tanglefoot wraps him around and pins him to the table. Now he's stuck in this sticky ichor. And you can tell that he is firmly fastened. We're going to go into initiative, but we'll keep the same initiative order just because, you know, this may or may not take long. I will roll for the skeleton, however, who... Okay. All right, so starting us off, of course, is Khalil at the top of initiative.
Okay, I guess,
So what does that make him? Sorry.
So, the skeleton's tied down, guys. If we all attack him, we'll lose our spell. Do you want just,
Oh, sorry, you've all lost your spell.
Okay, never mind.
No.
It's a group thing. I will walk up
one person.
and stab him in the face.
All right. Sauntering forward,
So it
blade
gets
in
an
hand,
entangled
Khalil
creature.
strikes at the bloody fold.
Yeah,
Sorry.
hold on.
What's up? What were
You
saying?
go, Michael.
Go, Michael.
We were shushing him.
Oh, no. I'm waiting for Khalil to attack.
Okay, yeah, I'll attack. Yeah, I'll just swing. Ooh, 16.
Just so you know, the Tanglefoot bag gives it a -4 penalty to dexterity and -2 penalty to attack rolls.
Very good information to have. Khalil, what'd you get, sorry?
16.
With a 16, your blade finds purchase in the bony frame of the skeleton. As you strike it, you hear it sort of rattles around.
How does this... 4 damage?
4 points of damage with your slashing weapon. Seems... Did you add your strength to that?
Yes, I rolled a 2, and then I rolled my 2s for my strength, so it's 4.
Alas, your blade, while it found purchase, did not penetrate the bony hide of the creature properly. The attack fell a bit short, and you seem to have had no damage done to it.
So I did this backwards, and I think I messed up. It's too late to take the -2 penalty to that, isn't it?
To your... Yeah, no, it
attack.
took a -2 penalty to its AC, yeah. I take that into account.
No,
not you, so
no,
you're
for
fine.
my attack roll, because I was trying to do the cast with my sword, and then the spell I can do afterwards. As
Oh,
the-
right, yes. Yep.
But I didn't
in
minus
both
the 2,
cases.
yeah. We'll just continue on with it.
Yes. In cases like this, don't worry, just keep it going because, like, let's be frank, doing 0 damage and doing 0 damage, I'm not worried.
Alright.
Alright, so what spell are you going to cast?
Disrupt Undead.
Disrupt Undead. Alright, you gather the holy powers of the divine in one hand and blast, filling it with forceful life energy. Make a touch attack if you would.
So much bloodier than I actually imagined.
That sucks. And what do I add to the touch attack? Is it still the same thing?
Base attack plus your strength modifier.
So 3, yeah, so I made 6.
6. Okay, you... Somehow or another, you managed to miss the glued down skeleton that is on a
Great
table in front of
job.
you.
We believe in
We
you.
believe in you, Khalil. You can do it.
I was very
Next time.
distracted.
Alright, next up is Geralt.
Okay, Dralt is going to...
Maybe try actually hitting it.
Yeah, I will definitely try that. It didn't work out so well for him, but I think I'll have a little better luck. I'm
Alright,
actually...
what are you hitting it with?
I'm going to hit it with... I'm going to try and break open one of my potions of Cure Moderate Wounds on him.
Okay. There's a particular way you need to do it because it's obviously with potions, it's more of an ingestion thing. So what I'm going to allow you to do is rather than using it as a splash weapon, is you're going to make a unarmed strike with your punch
Okay?
and try and basically you're going to hold the bottle in your hand and try to literally punch him down his throat.
Yes!
Oh my God.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, so make your attack. and add a -2 penalty for obviously having your brandished weapon. For those of you at home, no, I'm not going with -4.
Damn it. That backfired.
Oh no.
All right.
Okay.
Not bad.
12 plus strength, dexterity. Oh wait, it's an unarmed strike.
He said -2, right?
Yeah. So let's see here. So 0, 12, 15.
Okay, with a 15, you strike at him and manage to find purchase as you knock out some of its teeth along the way. Deal your damage. I'm gonna make a will save very quickly against the what was it? Which potion?
Moderate.
Moderate wounds.
Okay, cure moderate. Okay. Sweet. So you roll me 2d8 plus 5 for that damage, plus your unarmed strike damage. And anyone who's got knowledge, anyone who just has ranks in knowledge religion can make me a perception check.
I will do that.
5, 13 plus my d4.
14.
16.
Okay.
I did 19 damage total.
Whoa. Okay, 19 points of damage. You see, as it basically, some of its teeth are knocked out, its jaw is sort of moved, and it's sort of that hanging.
Real good job.
Hi, Diary. You okay? Good. Need a cuddle? A little. Okay. All right. So as the jaw basically snaps and sort of hangs loose on his body, you can actually see scorch marks start appearing along the bones and blood inside of its gut as the potion pours through its vein. Raylan notices that from their last encounter with the bloody skeleton, the skeletons were able to heal the damage that was being dealt to them. You notice the jaw is not replacing. The bones are not stitching. For whatever reason, it is currently not healing the damage done by Geralt.
Interesting.
It was healing.
It's not healing itself, guys. Let's kill it.
I think it's because of my pure badassitude.
That must be what
Acid, dude.
My bad acid-tude.
What did you mean that?
Yeah, yes, when you distill it down, it becomes asinine.
Ah.
So, yeah. Chemistry joke. Okay, so as we now turn to the skeleton's turn, it starts to cough and splutter. At first, it sounds like it's injured and like sort of doing its sort of I'm dying. But the more you listen to it, the more it sounds like it's trying to laugh without lungs as it turns to you and says, Is that a thing? Have we still not got the stream?
Can you hear it now?
Gabby Hawk.
I can't. I'm just pretending.
Gabby Yuck. Ooh,
Okay.
that's funny.
Thank you very much for subscribing. Again, all your subscriptions and all your following and stuff like that is fantastic and really helps us out. Do we actually have people in the Twitch stream at the moment?
No one talking.
No one talking. Okay, cool. If people talk on the stream, by the way, there is a special secret reward that can kind of happen every once in a while. So if you are on the chat, throw out some stuff, and we'll play around. We'll do some stuff. Okay.
Yeah, feel free to fuck us over.
Yeah, it'll really fuck us over. Probably.
Yeah, that's what it
Oh.
So darkly above says 1.
Oh, how does he know? Okay, fair enough. All right, seeing as the cat is somewhat out of the bag, a plot twist has been played by one of our Twitch followers, which means I get to pick up the card of destiny, and we will see what
Come on.
gets to be played.
It is
Hidden
The
The
asset.
hidden asset.
hidden asset.
All right.
Nice.
That's what I call my boobs.
And Raylan's top explodes.
As it begins to laugh, cough, and splutter, it seems to know what the measure is and strains and tries to tear out of the Tanglefoot bag. You can all make me a perception check as it does so. By the way, when I say it does so, I mean it literally goes.
Crap. Raylan rolled a 10.
Geralt got a 20.
Alright. Ooh, nice.
Bobby got a 1. He didn't notice anything. He's too busy thinking about that cement formula.
And Cleo is very distracted by his missed attack. He rolled a 7.
Okay, Geralt, you notice something unusual tear off the skeleton's belt as he sort of breaks free. It is stuck in the Tanglefoot formula that is still on the table, so it's still there. He, however, moves forward and lunges at... Dun, 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 dun! Geralt, he's going to lunge at you. How dare you notice something that I haven't noticed yet?
Preemptive revenge.
That is a 23 to hit.
Yeah, that stuff's like gonna hit.
Yeah.
I don't need to check it. That stuff's like gonna hit.
He does 3 points of damage as his claw rakes across your
Wait,
chest.
he's attacking someone else within me? Do I get a attack of opportunity if it attacks someone else?
You do
within
not.
range?
Only if he leaves your...
Attacks of opportunity are free attacks that occur when a person takes a specific action within a threatened area.
Okay.
These actions include casting spells, drinking potion, moving through or out of a threatened square,
Okay.
or doing some kind of easily attackable action like grappling someone or tripping someone over if you don't have the appropriate
Okay.
skill.
There's like a perk for attacking.
Range
If
attacks.
someone gets attacked near you, it's like but they're not perks. What are
It's
they
a
called?
feat.
A feats. That's right. Yeah.
Feat. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. Feats basically perks.
So Geralt laughs at this attack.
Mm.
Okay.
Very well.
About those potions.
He is laughed at. We then go to Darby.
Darby is going to throw a bomb at him.
Oh god.
Ooh, very nice.
Don't worry, it won't affect you.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like,
So he's going to...
Boom.
He's going to take out, put 2 of the vials. One's they're both just red, and he puts them in a bag and smashes it and whips it over his head and throws it at him. It's just
Excellent.
a regular bomb, no smoke bomb this time. But I am using precise bombs, so I'm excluding the 2 squares that they're in for the splash damage.
Nice.
Indeed.
16.
16. All right, that will most certainly hit. And as it does so, the flames engulf the skeleton, the fire burning brightly over its form. It slowly reaches out to try and stay on top of its feet, but falls to the ground as its feet literally dissolve from under it. The head rolls forward and lands at Darby's feet as the little glowing eyes dim.
Well, okay then.
I think we got it.
Cool. Let's see what was in the tingle. Let's see what was in his belt.
Yes.
And then cheese.
Okay.
And then we'll
Uh,
eat some
as
cheese,
you-
clearly.
Yeah. Then cheese.
Oh, there's still plenty of good cheese here. There's
Yes.
definitely plenty of good cheese. All right, you go over to the scrap of cloth and you tear it up from the sticky confines. You have a look at it. It appears to be a heraldry of a knight. You can make me a knowledge local check or a knowledge history check if you wish to identify it.
I don't have those knowledges.
Raylan rolled a 9 for history.
Okay, well, yep. Sadly you missed out on that class.
No, sorry guys.
You're like, that's the...
You have to have knowledge and history. You have to have checks, points in history, right?
Okay, well, we'll figure it out later.
We're not very well versed on...
So I guess a note
anything?
is that my bombs are very effective against bloody skeletons.
Well, there is Well, you would actually know that the town hall would actually have a register for all the heraldries and stuff like that.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Just FYI.
Cool.
Just FYI.
Yeah.
So-
All right, where would you guys?
Uh,
All right, so you guys grab as much cheese as you possibly can and stick them into bags. Of all of them, you actually find one in particular that is called Dragon Breath Peppercorn Cheddar.
God, I'm so hungry.
Which one of you can make me an appraise check?
An appraise check.
No, sir.
It's not a trained class.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Yeah.
We are not cultural.
Well, no, you don't need to be trained in that one. Appraisal is something anyone can do.
Yeah, it's one of the ones you don't have to be.
Uh,
I got to 20.
Ooh.
Darby got to 20.
Yeah, I got an
That's fine.
18.
That's
So.
Praise
good.
the cheese.
Okay, you guys identified that the cheese is actually quite rare and is actually very well sought after. To the right kind of collector, this will actually fetch you about 1,000 gold pieces.
let's eat it.
Okay.
Wait, that means it must be delicious.
And it's what was it?
Dragon.
It is
Dragon
probably
breath
very good, yes.
peppercorn
Can we just like taste
cheddar.
Dragon breath.
It is currently in a big wax wheel. You would actually need to cut the seal open to get to it.
Maybe once we
I mean,
sell it, maybe like right before we sell it, we can rip off some pieces.
No. The person we sell it to, we can offer like a
stipulation.
tasting from.
Oh, yeah. We can be like, oh, well, I'll taste it before you buy it.
Then they won't think it's poisoned.
Yeah, we'll be like,
I-
we're going to show you that it's authentic and not poisoned.
To the audience, I would like to point out that there are times when we play role-playing games that we completely forget that we're actually looting and you know, stealing 1,000 gold block of cheese from another person's shop. But that's perfectly fine because spoils of war and all that jazz.
Well, I mean, you know, it's broken in. There was a zombie eating here with blood. It's very unsanitary.
I think it's a very
This person's going to have to do a lot of work before they can even open up the shop. This cheese will probably go
That's very true.
bad.
We just got rid of.
Well,
a
you're
pest
probably
problem
doing him a
for
favor.
We're definitely doing him a favor.
Yeah,
I
we
agree,
just
Joel.
got rid of this.
Guaranteed.
We just got rid of this pest problem for him. This is a fine payment.
Yeah, are you telling me he would not pay? I mean,
Guys,
this
guys,
thing is
guys,
probably
guys.
already in enough
Let's
cheese.
let's go to the lighthouse.
All right. Leaving the cheese shop, you begin to slowly navigate your way through the streets of Carrion Hill. Can we get the map of Carrion Hill up, please, so that we can track our heroes as they go through? Thank you kindly, Eddie. We love our Eddie Tor, by the way. Again, trapped Minotaur. We call Eddie.
Yeah, we can see
you
it on
guys-
the map too, so.
Yeah. All right. So you guys are currently at the Slippers Market, and you begin to make your way down towards, well, basically the dockyards. As you do so, random encounter time? No, this is the fear time. So everyone, please make me a will save as we have ticked over a yet another hour.
Terribly bad at those.
Yes. Raylan rolled a 24.
You are okay.
Darby got a 15.
Ooh.
Darby is also okay.
Ooh, Geralt also got a 15.
And Khalil got a
Also
20.
okay.
All right.
Also okay. So all of you are still at your current fear levels, which, unless I am mistaken, let's see. Darby and Raylan are both spooked.
Yeah.
That's correct. And Geralt and Khalil are pretty brave and are doing an okay job, not being scared of things.
I mean, I did just shove a vial down a skeleton's throat when I punched him in the face, so... I mean, if I can get through that, I don't think I'm really that scared of this place.
Yeah, that you did. But I wouldn't be so quick to assess the place. As you enter the next area, you find yourself in the docks, and this particular area appears to be quite abandoned. You figure that the most of the civilian populace here is either retreated, and all the zombies have either gone into the city or they've gone somewhere in particular. Now, you have a choice here. You can either head to the northern dock, where you know that there are things like the shipyard, there's the mechanics and the tradies and stuff like that, as well as the cement factory. You can head towards the south, which is where the ship docking yards are, or you can go straight down the middle towards the lighthouse and approach it directly.
Let's go to the lighthouse. Let's find out who's there.
Yeah, we need to figure this out.
Okay. You begin to make your way along the narrow streets and eventually come to the docks. And as you do so, when you breach, you can probably see where the building line ends and that little bank starts before the lighthouse. Yeah, that area there is where you stop, because ahead of you, you can literally see a horde of undead beating on a barricade. Atop the barricade, you see two humans who appear to be wearing crow armor, so black feathers, feathered helmets, and they appear to be using swords and crossbows to keep the horde at bay.
Who are you?
You fear that they cannot hear you over the dull roar of the horde.
It was worth a try, guys.
Yeah.
Always try the simplest thing first.
So
Okay.
these look like they're just.
Although, sorry, one moment just before we move on from that point. All right, roll initiative.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Righto.
Something tells me you may have gotten their attention.
Yeah.
Oh.
My bad. Raylan rolled a 7. Not so
7.
It's a lot better than I did.
Oh.
Khalil rolled a 9.
Mm-hmm.
Dobby got a 12.
And Gerald got a 4.
Oh dear.
Okay.
That's okay. Thankfully, the horde has a -1 to its initiative. So, starting off, you see as several members of the horde break off and begin to make their way towards you. It's almost as if, like, if you've watched, like, kind of like a swarm sort of swarming into a direction, it's sort of petering off as the back half is slowly making their way back towards you.
Sorry.
But how many zombies is it? Or
Let's see. Yeah. 32.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
There are 32 zombies heading your way.
okay.
All right. Well, if we get to my
So we
turn,
fight them, guys?
I will do another 1 tap. If we get there.
Okay. Okay, it is starting off with Darby.
Alright. Dobby's going to throw a smoke bomb at them.
All right, you don't even need to roll for that. That's perfectly fine. As you huck your smoke bomb, it creates a small cloud of fog that obscures their vision. You cannot see them. They cannot see you. Is there anything you would like to perhaps say, mention, just?
Do you guys possibly want to take the water wands and go around underneath the water? We don't even need that. We can just swim around, right?
I'm just saying now would be an opportunity to get away.
You want to run back?
You do know that the dockyards have some ships that are floating out a short distance away from the docks.
Okay.
I think we can, like, maybe just use the smoke bomb to get away. Maybe out of, like, safety, you can cast wand on us, and we'll be hidden, and then we can try to help these fine people.
That sounds great.
Cool.
Sure.
All right. Kablabber! I assume it happens very shortly. Khalil, you're up next.
I'm up next. Well, I ready to run away with the group.
Place to hide.
Okay. Raylan, I assume you... Abracadabra.
Pew!
All right, you are all hidden. Geralt.
I would like to drink. I would like to basically. That sounds really weird. I would like to drink so that I can use my my drinking creativity.
And sorry, excuse me. And what feat would you like to acquire?
I would like to gain Cautious Fighter.
Okay. For those of you at home, basically with Geralt's particular type of brawler, it permits him to drink a drink of his choice and gain a combat feat for use. What does Cautious Fighter do?
Cautious Fighter gives me your dodge bonus to AC increases by 2.
Okay.
Is there prerequisites?
The prerequisites are combat and halfling.
All right. Very well. Okay. Next up, we have the Horde. The Horde cannot see you, so let's see if they turn back or charge you. Oh, they indeed, for the most part, they turn back. You see maybe 1 or 2 stragglers who are sort of still adamant that there's something around. And, they sort of wave around looking. When you guys can basically very easily leave at this point. Now, from where you are, you could actually see the several ships are along the docks here. So you can easily use a ship to get around the barricade. And as you can see there's a pier that's behind where the barricade has been set up. So the only way in or out is by water. You notice that there are obviously no ships by that dock.
Okay.
Okay.
These guys in the crow uniform, like, is there any sense of hostility from them, or are they just?
They're trying to.
Well, they're hostile towards the undead.
Yeah.
If you roll me a knowledge local, I could tell you more about them.
Yeah, we know, like, the
I don't think
bloody
any of us have
skeletons
them.
used to be members of the guard. That's why they were in the scene.
Okay.
Okay, so, well, let's go via water. Let's
But I
get
don't
over there.
know anything
Let's.
about this
Yeah.
place. So. Your
I
guess
want a
is as good as
sturdy-looking ship, something that's cool and fast and
Wait, are we leaving?
stylish.
You find a wooden dinghy that has a red stripe on it.
Ooh, it'll go
Oh, it
faster
has a
with
red
the red
stripe. Yeah. Oh, I like this already.
All right.
Oh, also, I'm feeling that.
As-
I feel pretty good after that drink.
It's actually very very easy to do so. You sort of jump into your you jump into the boat. It's got its oars. It's got its it's a boat. It's a dinghy. It's just nothing
Yeah.
special. All right. As you begin to make your way down across the river, you notice that there are corpses floating in the water.
Ooh, okay, I would.
Some of which are twitching, but you notice something else. You notice that every now and then, ones that twitch suddenly and very abruptly sink beneath the surface.
Oh.
Let's just get.
There's also a couple of violent thrashes, and you see usually a couple of appendages return to the surface.
Can we do a perception check?
You look into the murky depths of the water. Make a perception check.
Gerald got a 12.
Raylan got a 20.
Darby got a 23.
Khalil got a 14.
20 and 23. So Geralt and Khalil, you look over one side of the boat and don't see anything. Raylan and Darby, you look over the other side of the boat, and what you see is, editor, please, if you would.
Oh dear.
Yeah, oh dear.
That's never good.
You see a row of sharp, pointed teeth leap out of the water towards your necks.
Oh,
Could you make me a reflex save? And by the way, these creatures here, as they jump up, look about big enough to tangle with crocodiles and horses.
Are we all making a saving check or just them?
Just those two. Just those two.
Raylan got a 9.
Reflex. Darby got 26.
Nice.
Oof. Well, Darby manages to snap his head back just before the creature attacks. However, I will provide Darby with a certain opportunity. Darby sees the creature. Darby knows the creature is about to attack. However, Darby can use his reflex save to push the ever lovely Raylan out of the way should chivalry decide to prevail.
Darby's just gonna move his head back.
Yes, yes, that is the kind of cutthroat attitude I love. All right. So as in fact, you know, in order to sort of lean backwards, you sort of pushed her forward a bit.
Thanks.
All right. The guard takes a massive bite, and oh, this is not going to end well. Let me adjust something real quick. Okay, there we go.
Decapitated.
This is what you get for no
28 to hit.
Yep, good. Hit.
All right, and that is a total of 6, 2, 7. Oof. That is 14 damage.
Oh my god.
Are you still?
I'm -1.
Oh my
no.
god.
Oh, hold up, we're not done yet.
We're not done yet.
Ooh, plus bleeding.
What's your now? What is your CMD? I assume it is something less than 19.
Yeah, it sure is. He just
As it reaches up and clamps down on Raylan, it pulls her overboard and into the water. Roll initiative. Actually, no, let's keep the same initiative. Let's keep the initiative. We already did that. All right. Darby.
Save me.
Oh my god.
Do I still see the fish?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The fish hasn't gone anywhere.
Does
it is
it
still on
seem
the
like
surface.
a natural being or a magical being?
You can roll a knowledge nature check. And you want to know something terrifying, ladies and gentlemen? This is not a magical monster. This is a real thing in real life. There is a real one of these things. In fact, let me just I'm gonna do something really fun. I'm gonna just really quickly send Eddie a Google image. Actually, no, I'll tell Eddie. Eddie, can you Google image a gar?
Oh, this is a garfish, yeah.
Yeah, and just put an actual real one up just to kind of give a glimpse of that. But yeah, so these are gar, which, what was your knowledge check?
27.
With a 27, you most certainly identify this as a giant gar. So it's a slightly larger species. Although your typical gar are generally frightening enough, the enormous giant gar can grow to about 30 foot in length. And are definitely capable of swallowing horses and riders in a single swallow.
And Raylan's.
Oh my god.
And Raylan's, which is very much what has happened in this case. Yeah, that's basically it. They're basically bony, sleek, aquatic predators with huge rows of teeth.
Alright. So as my turn, I'm going to use my move action to infuse my crossbow bolt with bottled lightning, which is an alchemical item I have.
Okie dokie.
So I'll just fasten it on there, I guess, like tie it with a string to the crossbow bolt or something, I don't know.
I like to think that there's a little compartment for you to like sort of stick stuff in.
Yeah, like I hollowed out the crossbow bolts or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, I slide it in, take a aim, and shoot it.
Okay.
14.
14. As it is underwater and you've got a piercing weapon, that will do full damage.
Oh.
Ooh, nice.
Nice. Alright, so it does 1d8 piercing damage with the crossbow and another d8 lightning damage.
Ooh, lightning damage.
Okay. Cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a viewership of 9 people. Thank you guys for joining us. We love having you around.
Nice.
And because I feel like this moment could have a little bit more tension into it, I would like
Oh no.
first person to give me a number between 1 and 51.
What? There's so many
And we'll
numbers!
see. Oh, there are 51 options here. There is a huge deck of death that is here. Actually, some of them are good, some of them are bad. So, hey, you know what? A fan might save you. So when that number comes through to me, I'll play that out. But Darby, the damage.
Alright. He takes... Wow.
Oh.
Double ones.
Oh god.
Yeah, he takes
Oh my
two
God.
damage.
He takes 2 damage. Okay, I can just imagine how this conversation is going. Like, no, please stop. No, don't take Raylan. Oh,
He landed it at least.
oh, so sad. Okay. Then we have
One of my best items.
Khalil.
Oh my god, she just went over the edge. I'm on. Where am I? I mean, I guess I'm like right there. Anyways,
You're literally on the other side. So if you imagine, actually, you know what? Because this is the advantage. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you are playing role-playing games, always keep a pen and paper handy, because even when you do theater of the mind, which is what we're doing here, sometimes it's really good to be able to just very quickly draw positions, just so that everyone knows kind of where everyone is. So roughly, you've got the boat. Oops, sorry. Let me just. There we go. I don't know if you could see that too well, but
Yeah.
okay. So that was your positions before Raylan went into the water, right?
yes.
And so you're literally on the other side of the boat. So, but it's not that hard to sort of get across to it. Eddie has our picture of the real life Gar. So can we put that up real quick? Just a quick little aside, I think.
Since we haven't had an actual turn, I did forget I do get to add my int modifier when I use splash weapons.
So, you may most certainly do that if you wish.
So it's not 2 damage, it's 6 damage.
That sounds a little bit more reasonable. All right, Eddie Tor, are you there? No. Do you want to flash up the image?
Damn
Damn it! Who let the editor out?
Oh no.
That's okay. We'll keep going. Khalil.
Khalil is freaking out. Oh my god, what the fuck? Jesus. All of these words. I'm gonna run over to the side of the boat, see that she's dragged down.
I'm helping.
And like the fish is still on the surface of the water?
Yeah, still like trimming the surface of the water.
Okay, so I want to jump and kind of do like a stab attack into the garfish. And I want to cast that with the ability that allows me to cast...
Okay, hold up. Sorry, one second. I'm going to correct this. And this is from the rest of the world to the United States, okay? It is called a gar, not a garfish. It is pronounced tuna, not a tuna fish. We don't call them koala bears, okay?
No, because it...
Wait, but it already has koala bear in it.
Just koala bear or koala, you know? Yeah, adding the fish at the end of it is like saying it's a horse or a cat. Stop it!
It's a garfish.
Garfish.
No, it's a gar.
Okay, no,
Sorry,
but
garfish
but
fish.
you're doing it wrong. You don't say a tiger cat.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good Yes.
An ATM
I want to
machine.
do like the Legend of Zelda Link slam with my sword into the water on top of the plunge. And I want to use Shocking Grasp attached to my weapon attack.
Ooh. Touch attack through weapons.
Shocking Grasp. Okay, so with a Shocking Grasp, the electricity will surge through the metal of your blade as you strike at it and hopefully hit it.
Yes, please hit it.
That's a skew. I have to
Yeah,
roll
do
that.
it again.
Oh, please. And for this, I just add my normal attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which would be... it would be 11.
11. Oh, as you try to swing at it, you glance off its side. You sort of cut through its blubbery hide, but not enough to penetrate it and deal any substantial damage. Your electricity, however, does electrify the water. Raylan, could I get a reflex save from you,
God.
please?
Wait, can she? She's
Can I?
dead.
I'm not
Or she's-
dead.
she's,
I'm
unconscious.
Yeah, okay. All right. Common misconception. Reflexes. Actually, I'll tell this while she's rolling as well. And roll your damage as well for me, Khalil. Reflexes are a process of the body that occurs outside of the brain. So consciousness or unconscious actually has very little bearing on your reflexes. If someone were to sort of stab your hand and your hand moves automatically, that is a reflex. And that is because the energy, the signal goes from the pain receptors to the spine and then back. It actually doesn't even pass through the brain at all. That's why they're called reflexes. So this might not necessarily be along the lines of being able to sort of swim out the way, but it might be that her body positions itself so that she takes minimal damage, you know?
Okay, so
Like,
sorry, Raylan got a 15.
I rolled the 7.
Raylan did a 7. Okay, so 7 points of damage. So Raylan, you take an additional 4 points of damage. And the
-5.
Gar takes 7 points of damage. As the electricity channels through the water around the Gar and
Okay.
electrifies it. All right, we then go to Raylan. Now, Raylan, you are bleeding out and dying. You need to make me a stabilization check. Now, what this is a d20 plus your constitution modifier, and you need to beat 10 plus the amount of negative hit points you're on.
Okay, so I need a 15 or higher.
Oh god. What's your constitution?
0.
Looks like a 10. So plus 0.
19.
Did it.
Oh.
With a 19, you do stop bleeding. You are no longer, you know, sort of leaking Raylan into the water system. Alrighty then.
Down again anyway.
Geralt.
All right.
Geralt.
I
Jump
will.
in there and rip her out.
Is he still? Yeah. So Raylan is still being held on.
Yes, she's still... Well, it's not that she just hasn't been dropped more than she is sort of being grappled.
All right. So I would like to attempt to save Raylan, or Geralt would like
okay.
to save Raylan.
Please do. Please.
I feel like I'm always saving everyone.
I feel like we're just not gonna die.
Okay. All right. So what am I rolling here?
You are rolling... Let's say a grapple check. Oh, by the way, this is the real thing. So these are some very handsome fellows who have caught a real-life guard. Now, that's a standard guard. What you're dealing with is a bigger one of those. A giant one of those.
Oh,
We don't
How
like
crazy
it.
is that, though?
I don't like it.
I heard in Australia they call them garfish. Is that true?
yeah. I think I've heard that too. I'm pretty sure that's right.
See, I've got so many comebacks for that, but none of them appropriate for a live stream. Okay, so I'm gonna...
All right.
All right. So yes, what you're gonna do is you're gonna make me a grapple check. So CMB versus my CMD with my penalties of whatever, and you're going to literally try and wrench her out of its grasp.
All right. 20.
Damn.
20. Oh,
No.
with a 20. Yes, you managed to pry her out
God.
and drag her onto the boat.
on,
Now,
Raylan.
Geralt, please gain me a hero point, which we will be able to use for other things. Now, have I explained hero points to you guys yet? I feel like I did.
I mean, let's go over it again.
Yes.
All right, we'll go over it again very, very quickly. Hero points are a special reward system. If you do something particularly heroic, something that obviously puts you at risk and benefits basically someone else, you will earn points. These points can be used for a number of things. 1 point can be used to re-roll a d20 roll. It can be used to provide a +4 bonus to a roll that you've already made. Or if you want to use it before you roll, you can get a +8 to that d20 roll.
Oh, damn.
In addition, you can use a point to petition the game master for something. Like you can say, okay, look, we haven't really solved the puzzle in this room. Can I get a hint? That point will allow you to get that hint. Now, if you are in dire straits, you can spend 2 points to stave off death. So if something would otherwise completely annihilate you, you will be on 1 hit point and something will happen to save you. The last thing you can do is you can spend all your points, literally all your points, for a divine level miracle. So these are very rare. These are very hard to come by. and they are not absolute. There may be conditions, there may be kind of challenges you need to do, but it's basically I will, to the best of my ability, try and facilitate a miracle. That is hero points, and that is what you have just earned for having rescued Raylan from the jaws of death.
That's what I do.
Because had you failed, grapple checks provoke attacks of opportunity, and it would have definitely dropped Raylan, but grabbed you instead.
Alright, I still got a decent amount of hit points. I think I would be okay with that. Wow.
All right. So, moving right along, we then go to back up to the top, actually. No, the Gar. It is the Gar's turn. The Gar has lost its meal. It has been reasonably injured. It will dive below the surface once more and is out of range.
Okay.
Now, as it does so, you guys are technically out of initiative. If it comes back, we'll go back into initiative.
Okay.
But for the time being, the waters are still. What do you guys wish to do?
We pull them back into the boat.
And
Yep.
I'd pour a potion into. I'd put my potion into her mouth.
Okay. 2d8 plus 5 for the cure moderate.
2d8. 14.
Ah.
Okay, with a 14. Yep, cool. So you are back up and, happy as a clam.
Cool.
Well,
So
not quite.
Yeah, I'm at
You, however,
9.
yes, you, however, can make me a sanity check, if you would.
Is that a will? Or just a d20?
A will save.
6. But I crit failed it.
Very well. Let's see what happens.
Going crazy.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of understandable after such a traumatic experience.
Thank you.
Raylan takes 3 points of sanity damage.
Oh my.
3 points.
Your threshold is 3. Please make me another will save to avoid gaining an insanity.
Oh.
Yeah, 22. 23.
22.
22.
You stave off gaining, going mad, basically.
Hey, nice.
Okay. Okie dokie.
Okie dokie artichoke?
Yeah.
All right. So, from here. All right, so you continue onwards, driving your boat towards the lighthouse. You end up near the docks on the other side of the barricade, and you can see that it is a reasonably clear shot to the lighthouse itself. The lighthouse stands at a grand whopping height of 80 foot tall, with a huge light that seems to be inactive atop it. You spend most of your time sort of tying off the boat properly, I assume?
Mm-hmm.
So you're not just going to sort of leave it and run?
Well, I might.
Okay.
We'll tie
I
it
think
off.
we tied the boat.
We'll definitely tie it off.
Okay, excellent.
If
all
we're
right,
going
what's-
towards Lighthouse, Darby would like to down his mutagen and just use that as like a preparatory thing. So he's gonna take out that same vial liquid as before, chug it down, and he just kind of rise and like he looks in pain a little as he shoots up about a couple inches taller, gets real lean.
Okay.
Have you been
However-
working out, Darby?
However, you want to roleplay getting less wisdom. I don't know how characteristically. That
Bruh.
Well, I think it's more like you become a little bit more reckless.
Yeah.
A little bit more a little bit less perceptive, I suppose, is the operative. Okay. All right, cool.
And
As
walk
you
every
approach
day.
and get off your vessel, you are approached by 2 men dressed in the crow outfit. You, stay fast! Speak, or I swear I'll put you down.
With my diplomacy, I say, with a 24 diplomacy, We're here to help. We're a group of sweepers.
Oh, thank
and
God.
We've been sent to help.
Oh, good. I'm sorry. Understand we've been dealing with the undead for days now.
We got a 4
just needed to
in the
make-
chat room, by the way.
A 4. Excellent.
Thanks a lot.
I do apologize to the chat room. There is a there is, you know, like no way for me to read that number, so they have to kind of call out the number. So if you guys can just yell out when you see the number, and I can do that. So the card for this next plot twist is
Cause and effect.
Cause and effect. Also, by the way, the hidden asset card is still in play. So that is still, as you guys remember, the tabard from earlier, which you still haven't found anything out about. But going back to it, come with me. There's someone you must speak to.
Okay.
And the guard sort of
Fine.
the guard leads you in. As you enter the lighthouse, you can see that there are dozens of men, women, children who are literally just lining this place wall to wall. They are starving, they're malnourished, they're tired. A lot of the guards seem kind of like really injured. Like some of them have like literally like blood-soaked bandages covering their body. A few are trying to get some sleep even while standing up. That is how like cramped and miserable it is here. The guard leads you up the flight of stairs to the top of the tower, where you see this individual who is on the page, standing there looking out over the city.
Hi.
Oh.
Hey.
Who are you?
Khalil Howland. This is the Howland Agency. We're a group of sweepers.
Yes.
What he said.
Sweepers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did that Helsing send you?
Yes. Helsing did send us.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that is such a relief. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Mayor Heggery, and, well, things have gotten quite out of hand here. What began as a few escapees from the graveyard has turned into quite the conundrum.
Do you know anything of how this was caused?
No, all we know is that they came from the graveyard.
Hmm.
It happened suddenly 2 days ago. The alarm was sounded. I deployed my elite guard, the Crows, to try and quell this before it got out of hand. Many lost their lives. Good men, too.
So the first sign of any of this all came from the graveyard?
Indeed.
Or more zombies,
But-
I imagine.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter. There's something here. I've looked out towards the city and I've seen him. Some large armor-clad person riding a horse. He seems to be in command. He has wandered through the streets, and with him rises death.
Where did you last see him?
He was heading toward Crown Manor.
How long ago was this?
Not long, maybe an hour.
We gotta get going, guys. We gotta go get this guy. He's gonna go find... You have a lot of people hiding at Crown Manor right now.
Oh, well, that is good news. I've also heard rumors that the asylum and the church have acted as safe houses for people.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we visited the church already.
Yeah.
Have yet to
Well,
be the asylum.
listen, there are far too many undead for you to handle alone, even with what I assume to be quite skilled individuals if you came here on the behest of the Helsing. Allow me to give you these.
Yes, yes.
Each of your weapons is now upgraded to a +1 magic item.
Oh, damn.
He basically goes through a chest of assorted gear and hands you an item piece each. So you now all have the equivalent of magic items to a value of +1.
Forever?
He says, these weapons will be of some use. They belong to some of the fallen soldiers, but their families have allowed for us to use it in our defense. And I see no better home for it than with the people who are going to be avenging these fallen soldiers. Listen, there are too many people here to evacuate by boat. We've used the dinghies, but there is one person who has made mention of this. A couple of escape routes that may be possible to evacuate so many people. The first, a large ship that is dry docked. If it can be freed, then we can certainly escape people on it. The second is a large wagon that is held just across the bay. He literally points to the northern part of the city. Sorry, the northern dock, the northernmost dock. And he says there's a workshop there with a blacksmith. He was working on a large armored carriage. Either of these vehicles would happily house the people we have here, and more, and allow us to escape the town. But we need someone to secure it and bring it.
I'd say we go for the cart.
You think the cart over the ship?
I'm still focused on taking out this night guy.
We can take out the
Well,
night.
for sure, we should deal with that, but I think
Yeah, we
first
need
we
to get
should
these people
rescue
outta
the
here.
people.
I don't know how long that barricade's gonna last.
Yeah, this is true.
Alright, let's do the cart.
You mean you know these lands best? Do you believe you'd be safer on the cart or in the ocean?
At this point in time, we're lucky to be alive. Safety is relative. But if what you say is true, it means that while traveling by cart, we could possibly even lend aid to those trapped, as you say, in other areas of the city.
All right. Let's get the cart.
Yeah.
Let's get the cart.
Let's go towards the cart.
And the blacksmith is just down the road.
Okay, yeah, basically, it's basically down the road.
Okay.
With the dinghy, you can just cross the river and get to the, blacksmith. Okay. So, as you leave the area, you can see people sort of, walking up to you, like this very, sort of elderly couple. Pardon me, dear, but there are some young folk here who are really, really hungry. I don't suppose you have anything. You have any food or drink?
I offer them a trail ration.
The old lady.
Go ahead. I create a bunch of water.
All right, you fill a couple of barrels with fresh water. You see, like, a couple of the soldiers off duty, sort of handing them out.
We also have cheese.
No.
Yes, we do have cheese, and we will gladly give it up for those who are in need.
Sure,
Okay.
I'll give them
You
some
think-
of the not really
We
special
will give
cheese.
them... Actually, do we have any other cheese?
Yeah,
That's
we
a good
do.
question.
We grabbed a bunch
You
of
do,
cheese.
you do, you do. You've got some cheese, but you also have a sizable wheel of cheese as well.
I'm not giving them
They sort of start breaking off the trail rations and the cheese into very tiny pieces. Like, there are so many of them that they do feed the children reasonably, but everyone gets about the equivalent of 2 crackers with 2 blocks of cheese on it. That's about how much everyone kind of gets when they after it's all divvied up, which has definitely helped, and they thank you profusely for your generosity, and everyone can gain 1 hero point.
Okay.
There's a spot.
Oh yeah, actually, do
Okay.
I have a spell?
All right. So, as you have done so, you then head outside, and you notice that your boat seems to have drifted a short distance away from the dock, even though you've moored it, and you did take special care to moor it properly.
Perception check.
Yeah.
Sure, go check on it.
We'll walk up and check on him.
Not too close. We don't perceive this too close.
I'm not
I think we've learned our
I'm not
lesson.
going to bend over the water anymore.
Raylan looks from afar and rolls a 7.
You see nothing.
Geralt gets a 24.
Okay, with a 24. Ding ding. We've got our card played.
Oh.
You see, circling the water around your dinghy appears to be the same guard that seemed to have grabbed Raylan. However, since he had been feasting on the flesh of the dead, you notice that patches and holes appear in its skin. You're fairly sure it is no longer simply an animal of the ocean.
Zombie god.
Let's
It's a
use the
zombie
wand.
godfish.
Let's use the wand.
Yes!
What one? Oh, the perceive.
Hide from undead.
Hide from undead. Oh!
Okay.
Like I said, sometimes things like that will most certainly help you. And a very big special thank you to... Do we know who did it?
Darkly
Darkly
above.
above. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you very much, because you've technically stopped me from having to eat them by a fish. Thank you. Okay.
Well, you still did.
All right. Oh, yeah, I did. That's true. I had my fun. Okay, so... Casting Hide from Undead. You have but one charge remaining in that wand, if I'm not mistaken.
That is
Yep.
true.
Thus, you cast yourself invisible and once again make your way across the dock towards where the trade district is. Now, it's very easy to find where the wagons and stuff like that are being constructed, and you find, in fact, a large garage. The door is open, and you can actually see what appears to be a magical type of wagon. I say magical because there appears to be no traditional harness for a horse to pull this cart. Instead, there seems to be magical sigils that are only half finished.
Can I look at the sigils?
Same.
You may most certainly do that. As you look at the sigils, you find that they are conjuration magic.
Is this a knowledge or arcana check?
This will be a spellcraft check.
Okay.
Oh, spellcraft.
Cool. I rolled a 23.
Ooh.
He got better than me.
23.
So I'll just say
So it
23.
conjures.
No, go on.
Does it conjure horses to?
It most certainly does.
They
It
must be
conjures
cool.
a troop of...
I'm sure.
It conjures a
Princess is
horse
lying.
of 6
She's right there.
phantom
boss.
steed.
Oh, cool.
Ooh.
Okay. But as I mentioned, the sigil is not complete, and sadly, none of you have the capacity to fix it. Thus, in order to move this thing, you will need to find something sizable that will be able to pull this this carriage.
If only we had a pogo.
Oh, Pogo.
Yeah, that's right.
Pour
Uh,
one
you
out.
can't-
I pour one out for Pogo.
Wait, can I...
You pull.
These sigils aren't complete. Is there no way to complete the sigils?
No, we don't know.
You can look around the workshop and see if there is notes or some way for you to be able to do so.
Okay, I would like to do that.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that just perception?
11, 16 for Geralt.
16.
20 for Raylan.
20 for Raylan. Okay. You sort of start rummaging around and looking through the workshop. You find various tools that would be otherwise used for carpentry and blacksmithing. They seem to be fitted to the hands of a dwarf. They're very much built, for that kind of use. You, however, Raylan, open up a cupboard that is below what appears to be kind of like a bellow kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
like they've got this bellow, and then they've got this table, and then there's some drawers underneath it. As you open it up to have a look, you hear a shriek. Ah! Ah! Please don't hurt me!
Hi. Not here to hurt. Just trying to get this cart over to all the people. Could you help
no.
us?
What sort of manner of creature is that?
Me not think so. Me think we should stay here. Safe in here.
We'll keep you safe. We promise. I say with a 19 diplomacy.
You promise you not hurt?
No, we'll keep you safe.
Hi.
We'll get you to your mayor.
Sheepishly walking out from the bottom of the drawers appears to be a small green-skinned creature with pointy ears, massive sharp teeth, and bright red eyes that have goggles on them.
Oh, I love blood.
Little goblin.
Oh,
He-
goblin.
He also
You're so
he also
cute.
appears to be wearing blacksmith like sort of like a blacksmith apron, and he has some tiny tools for himself. He says,
Please, you promise not to hurt I?
Of course.
No, of course not.
Well, Master, he keeps Scribbleface in the cupboard, and Scribbleface works in the cupboard. Not allowed fresh air.
What does Scribbleface do in the cupboard?
The Scribbleface scribbles. It's why goblins don't like Scribbleface. Scribbleface likes scribbling. Scribble, 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 scribble.
Do your scribbles
And he
make
say-
things happen?
Yes, they do.
Oh, delightful.
I'm gonna kneel down to
Scribbleface.
Scribbleface and try to shake his hand and say, "Hi, I'm
Uh,
Khalil."
he recoils as if he thinks you're about to belt him. You go,
No. Hi, Scribbleface. Do you know how your master's cart works?
Oh, yes. Scribbleface knows. Scribbleface, he scribbles. Yeah.
Does
Yes.
Scribbleface want to help us fix this cart?
Oh,
To help get Scribbleface out of here.
You can save a lot of people,
No.
Scribbleface.
but heroes kill Scribbleface.
No.
Heroes don't like Scribbleface.
We won't. We promised.
We heroes, we love you, Scribbleface.
little tear.
Okay. You keep Scribbleface safe,
We promise.
and
We'll
Scribbleface,
protect you,
Scribbleface.
Scribbleface.
Just watch out for Master. Master is not well. Master is.
Oh,
A zombie.
Like the others, but different. Scribbleface, hide. But now heroes are here. Heroes can kill Master and Scribbleface scribble.
We'll protect you, Scribbleface.
Scribbleface also hungry. Scribbleface can't work on empty stomach.
can we give him some more of our
I
cheese?
give him a little bit of cheese.
You seem to have fundamentally run out of the bad stuff.
All right, let's just do it.
What? No, wait, we didn't give it to the townspeople, we're gonna give it to the students.
No.
This much. Just break it off. Don't let him see. Don't let him.
Yeah, don't let him see.
Wait,
Don't let him
wait.
see how much we have.
We have a.
I still have another trail ration. Here you go.
Oh, there you go.
Cookie Monster style.
Okay.
Hey, Scribbleface. Is it okay if I call you Scribs? Because Scribbleface is kind of long.
Are we friends?
We are friends.
We're definitely all friends.
Its eyes like do the whole like anime like sparkly thing.
Scribbleface helps friends. Oh, Scribs help friend.
Okay, let's go, Scribs.
And he sort of bounces over to the front of the cart, and he sort of pulls out some of his tools. You can see that he's actually got what it looks to be like a magic pen with like this glowing magic tip that seems to be sparking in like sort of pink energy, and he seems to continue the symbol. He says,
We'll take Scribbleface about an hour.
Oh,
Okay, thank you.
Can I,
Scribs?
just in
Thanks, Scribs.
as my character, I would like to sense motive on him.
sure.
Just for.
Posterity.
I rolled a natural 20. And that's
Scribbleface is a lying son of a bitch.
that's a 26. Natural 20 plus 6.
Okay. As far as you know, Scribbleface is well, you can't really trust goblins, first and foremost. Let's start with that. But goblins have very few motives in life. They can be motivated by food, by shiny things, and by self-preservation. So when it comes down to it, all three things have been met, and you kind of get a good sense that if Scribbleface is going to betray you, it'll probably be after he's safe.
Okay. Alright.
Okay, so Scribbleface begins to do work as you guys patiently wait for the next 55 minutes.
All right. So my
You got fairly through it. I'm gonna put that out there. Yes, there is another will save for fear, if you would please.
Oh, baby. It's gonna be close. Geralt got a 14.
All right, with a 14, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're still okay on a 14.
Raylan got it on 11.
Okay, your fear kicks up a notch. What this means for you is you are now shaken while you are within Carrion Hill. It is a fixture until you rest in a safe location or leave town. Now, to give you some clarification on where you guys are in the matter of time, it is now around about dinner time.
Okay.
So about 6, 7 o'clock-ish. So the night is starting to fall. As it does so, you seem to notice that Scribbleface begins to get very nervous, and he starts to work a little faster.
Ooh.
Could I get a perception check from everyone, please?
Yeah. Ooh, natural 20.
Natural 20 as well.
Alright.
Why can't we do this on attacks?
I know.
18 for Khalil.
18 for Dobby.
You know what? Fine. Screw it. You see everything. You see 4 humans who have really good roles sitting above you, controlling your strings like puppets. That's how far
What
you
the hell is this? Oh!
Okay.
Do we have to
What
roll
you
will
do
saves
actually see.
Because we perceived that?
Yeah, I feel like you should. All right, what you actually see, as you look out into the town of Carrion Hill, you can see rows of glowing eyes slowly start lighting up, almost like a cascading wave through the city. It gives the whole town this eerie and ominous crimson glow that bathes almost every nook and cranny. In addition, those of you who scored natural 20s on your perception can hear the faint sounds of jingling and the stench of forged smoke as emerging from the furnace. Could we get the picture shown up, please?
Oh my god.
Kerfwhip.
Kerfwhip.
You see this creature made up of chains wrapped around the corpse of a dwarf whose beard is lit with smoke and fire, choking and coughing and spluttering, steps out. Scribbleface turns and sort of says, "He's here."
Oh Jesus.
Okay, so we should kill it.
Yeah, we should definitely
As it lurches forward, it says, "This is my workshop. I'll turn your bones into chain, you filthy interlopers." And you can roll initiative.
Well, I think we'll see about that.
I
son.
actually had a quick question.
Yeah, go nuts.
You had said we've been waiting there for a while.
Yes. So for the yes, in the 55 minutes that had occurred, quite literally a couple of cow zombies wandered up, but you took care of them pretty easily. You know, nothing of note happened. If you guys did wish to do some sort of, chilling out process.
I would
Or
like
something-
to remake my mutagen. It takes me 15 minutes to create a new one.
That's perfectly fine. Okay.
would you-
All right, roll initiative.
Would you call
sorry,
it
go
that as a small rest for a hit die?
There are no small rests in Pathfinder.
Oh shit! This is
All in or
RPG.
death.
Okay, so Raylan got a 9.
Raylan got a
Better
9.
than Geralt.
Oh dear.
Geralt got an 8.
Oh dear.
Khalil got a 13.
Look at you, Khalil.
That's
Right?
I'm
It's
so
crazy.
proud of you.
And
1 second. 15 for Dobby.
15 for Darby. All right. Well, the creature gets to go first. But before we get into that, if anyone wishes to make a knowledge religion check, they can identify what this creature actually is.
Positively.
Please tell us what it is.
12.
With a 12, what do you know about dwarves? What does Raylan know about dwarves? Anything?
Raylan honestly wouldn't know that much about dwarves, other than just,
Okay.
kind of running into them in urban areas.
In which case, this is absolutely no kind of creature you have ever seen or heard from. I mean, maybe it's a ghost, maybe it's a revenant, maybe it's a zombie. You have no idea. All right. It, however, leans forward, pulls backwards, and as it does, you can kind of see the smoke around it start to get thicker and heavier as it spews forth a cloud of stinging soot and ash. The glowing embers sort of sting at your sides and creates this huge cloud that blinds you. Could I get everyone to make me a reflex save?
Certainly.
Raylan got a 14.
I got a
14 is fine.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I got 16.
I also got a 14.
Yep.
Cool.
Khalil got a
Khalil?
14 too.
Okay, so no one is blinded by this.
Right.
However, everyone will take 1d6 points of damage per round. So not right now, but we'll be doing it at the beginning of each of your turns. In addition, it is considered thick fog. So basically, you can only see 5 foot in front of you, which means you can see each other, but you can no longer see him, as the forge is 15 foot away from your current location.
Okay.
So he has total concealment?
He has total concealment at the moment.
All right.
Okay, that's fun.
Okay, next up is Dabby.
Daddy.
Well, since
Daddy.
I can't see him, I'm just going to target the area that I know he was around with the bomb to try to at least hit him with splash damage.
Okay. As you fling your bottle into the darkness, could you roll me a percentage, please? That is by rolling both of your d10s and telling me the figure that you get.
42.
With a 42, you hear the sounds of your bag hitting some surface. There's a whoosh, and you can see light kind of appearing in the fog, kind of like a flicker, but that's about it. You're not entirely sure if it worked. You're not entirely sure if you hit, but your bomb has gone off. And roll your damage for me as well, just so I can keep track of certain things.
Well, it only does a roll damage if it's a direct hit.
Oh, right, so it's splash
The
damage.
splash
yeah, okay,
damage
cool. That's
is 6 in a 5-foot radius. And they can make a reflex save of 15 for half.
fine. Okay, next up is Khalil.
Alright, cool. So I know where the monster's location last was, right?
Yes, roughly.
I guess I want to run in that direction and try to see if I can fill out for him.
Okay. You head into that direction. Make me a perception check.
15.
15? Okay. With a 15, you sort of start to pour and feel around, but you don't seem to find anything.
Okay.
Okay. We then go to Raylan.
Okay, so I mean, I guess I'll. I don't know. I'm gonna touch Geralt, and I am going to cast my touch of good, and it gives you a +1 to an attack roll, an ability check, or a skill check.
Just anything?
Yeah.
But just
so your
once,
next
right?
one, yeah.
Okay.
You'll get a +1
Not
too.
for damage. Just to hit.
No,
right?
just to hit. Just to the attack roll.
All right.
Very nice. So you feel the energy of the divine surging before you as the cleric channels the power of her goddess into your very attacks. All right, which brings us to Geralt, now infused with Sarin Ray goodness.
Geralt suddenly gets a sinking feeling about our little friend Scribbles, and so he's going to go over to where Scribbles was.
All right, you head over to where Scribbles is. By this point, you have actually emerged from the smoke, so you're now no longer in it. So you will not. Sorry, you will still take the 1d6 damage I'll do soon, but you won't take any more because you're now out of it. As you sort of turn to look around, you don't obviously see Scribbleface. You sort of peek your head out of the workshop, and you can see Scribbleface down the road like this.
Scribbles!
And yeah, he's off like a bullet. Oddly enough, goblins are really quick.
Well, shit.
All right. Well, you've just moved so far. You still have a standard action if you want to do anything in particular.
Can I hold it?
Yeah. You can ready an action. So
Yeah.
you could say, under this circumstance, I will X.
Under the circumstance, I have a chance to attack this guy. I'm gonna do the same thing I did, if possible, to that undead. I'm gonna hold on to a potion and jam it down his throat.
Yep, all right. I'll say that you've already drawn the potion, so it's in your hand, ready for that. So yeah. Okay. Moving straight along, we now go to the dwarf. Let's see, Khalil, you're really close, but not quite close enough. But close enough for me to do this. So, all of a sudden, from the darkness, a chain reaches out and grabs Khalil by the leg. What is your CMD, please?
My CMD is 14.
14. Okay, with a 14, yeah, you are grappled. Okay, oh wait, sorry, I keep forgetting to do the burning damage. Let's try this first. So, number 1, everyone takes 4 points of damage for the first round they spent in the fire. Khalil, your legs now are bound by this chain, which pulls you to the ground and seems to drag you towards this creature that that basically you're now within 5 foot of him, so you can kind of see him. He looks at you, and you notice that each of the chain links, right, that make up the chain that's wrapped around you, is not only barbed, but you can see very tiny faces in the chains.
Oh my
So
God.
there are these steel faces over every single chain link has a different face in a different horrific visage. As he sort of grabs hold of you, you feel something strange happening to your body as you take 5 points of damage.
Oh my god.
And he readies his hammer to start forging his newest chain link.
Oh.
Darby!
Kill it.
I'm assuming my dark vision doesn't help with the smoke at all.
It does absolutely not.
Okay. Just checking. Do I even see that that's happening?
You do not. Sorry, Khalil, feel free to yell.
He's got
Free
it.
actions to cry for help.
Free actions the cry for help. Guys, I'm kind of gonna die here.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get in close to him. So I'm going to take my tail and grab into my pouch behind me and grab just like a really matted bag that looks like there's powder in it. Like, you know, like those bags you hit in your hand and like a puff of smoke comes out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of those that I'm holding out, like, and kind of keeping my head away from as I'm running forward until I can try to get where I think I'm close to the monster.
Okay, make a perception check.
Natural 20, 24.
All right, yeah. As you continue to move forward, holding this pouch of powder in front of you for some reason, you continue forward until your hand literally just sort of very softly caresses the chain link on his chest.
Okay.
He sort of is still holding his hammer up in the air like he's about to like bring it down on Khalil, and he sees you, and you've sort of gone.
Well, I throw the batch of sneezing powder at him.
All right, you throw it into his face. It sort of hits him in the face and in the eyes, and he sort of stops for a second, and he looks back at you, still angry, completely unfazed by sneezing.
Oh shit!
Oh, it was a nice attempt.
Oh.
For those of you at home who do not realize, the undead are immune to sneezing. As well as a whole bunch of other.
Undead.
Which fair enough, and now you know that they don't sneeze. Because could you imagine that, you know, like this horde of zombies, like,
I've used sneezing powder
chew.
before in the past. Very great effect.
Okay, no, but good effort. At least you found him. Now you're within range. All right. After Darby, we go to Khalil.
Okay. I see Darby. If I leave his zone, I would get attacked, right? If I could.
Well, you would accept.
You can't move.
You would accept you are currently
If I could,
prone
I would
and
do it.
wrapped up in chain.
So
Yes.
instead, I am going
Can you do
to.
that lightning spell again?
I'm gonna attach Shocking Grasp to my sword and stab its ass.
All right, you do so. Make your attack.
And this is at advantage, I believe, since he's an all metal. His entire body is metal.
There is no such thing as advantage in Pathfinder.
Yes.
What is this? So there's no bonus for the Shocking Grasp?
No, well, there is a bonus, but I take that into account.
Okay.
It's all part of the stats and numbers and stuff.
Guys, I got D5 on the brain. Okay, that's
Is he going to hit for the first time?
13.
Probably not.
With a 13 from the floor while grappled, you swing pretty much like this. If you can ever imagine he's wrapped up, right? And he's sort of like this. And you realize that Khalil uses flail. It is not
Can
very
I
effective.
expend my hero point?
You can spend a hero point. The hero point will either give you a +4 or allow you a reroll.
I will.
What was it?
What'd you roll?
I rolled
You got a 13.
13, yeah.
+4.
I'll take the +4, yeah.
Unless it has an armor class of 18.
All right, with a +4, sadly,
Oh, Jesus.
you actually do manage to
Oh
hit.
my god. Goodbye.
So Trixie,
So Trix.
he lies about what he says. It keeps us on our toes. No. Okay. Yeah, most certainly you can actually hit it.
Potions, guys.
Okay.
I'm out of the. I'm actually not gonna get hurt next round.
That's 4 lightning damage and 4 for my sword. Oh wait, that's 6 for my sword.
Okay. As you strike at his leg, the lightning crackles and channels through his body. You can actually see the smoke clouds slowly start becoming storm clouds as lightning sort of
Oh.
discharges through them. Again, those of you in the cloud can see the light sort of flashing and flickering as he strikes, dealing a reasonable blow, actually, to the creature. All right, we then move on to Raylan, who was in the smoke all alone.
Okay, so I am going to. So you moved out too?
I'm grappled.
We're all in there.
Except
Okay.
for Jerome.
Yeah, I'm not in there.
I don't know why. Okay. I was confused. Okay. So I am going to channel to kind of try to heal everyone a little bit. And so I'm channeling healing energy to good people.
Okay.
6. Everyone gets 6 back.
Oh, geez.
Can I include myself in that?
Of course you can.
Cool. And then
Dang.
I'm gonna get out of the smoke area.
Okay. Forward or backwards?
Backwards.
All right. You emerge from the smoke, and you can see Geralt.
Hello.
Did you feel that?
I did. It felt amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Did you tell her about Scribbleface?
Yeah, Scribbles, he's not our friend really anymore.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay. What happens next? We then go to Geralt.
So do I know roughly where they are now because of the lightning that was happening? Could I see that?
Sadly not. It's kind of like just sort of lightning around all the clouds as it roils and stuff like that. You do have their earlier location, and I'm going to say that you can identify where Darby and Khalil is, and by turn roughly where it is.
Okay, I'm going to head back in that direction. I'm going in.
As you walk in, the embers and fire start stinging at you once more. And you can make me a perception check.
21.
All right, you bump into a figure that is big and bald and burly. Well, not bald, balding, I guess. It's Darby.
Can I see the big thing?
You cannot, but you are very aware that he is probably in front of Darby, given the way that Darby is looking.
All right, I'm going to.
I duck.
I'm going to move.
You can leapfrog.
I'm going to leapfrog over Darby, and
Punch him. You can punch him.
yeah, I'm gonna try and do my shoving down the throat potion.
All right. So first of all, let's do this leapfrog. Acrobatics check. Successfully leap over Darby.
Oh, natural 20.
Okay,
Darby
without
is very
even
immovable.
with literally no kind of hesitation, you run over and you put your hand on Darby's back. You with one hand gymnast leap in almost like a perfect split.
For some reason,
Right, like
it's kind of
Spider-Man style?
spongy. My back is.
Yeah. Straight up, and you can see the creature. Now make your attack as you lean forward with this heroic sort of Superman-esque flying punch.
Oh, 13.
God.
13 is not enough. As you miss it. However, and I know I'm gonna regret doing this, you do have hero points.
Oh, actually, so also I got the +2 from.
You had +1.
Yeah, I forgot my +1, so 14.
No.
So plus my hero point that I'm going to use.
+4.
18.
Then yes. With an 18, yes. For some reason or another, as you leap and look like you're about to completely miss, Darby stands up a little too early and clips the back of your legs, changing your trajectory ever so slightly.
Teamwork,
I
Dobby.
meant to do that. His intention.
And the attack goes straight into his mouth. So again, deal. Now, do you have any? That's a cure light wound, isn't it?
Let me look. I think it's moderate wound.
We had one
it's-
before, and then you gave us another one at
Yeah.
the start.
Yeah,
so
it's
each had
potion of
two.
cure moderate wounds.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. That's right. Okay. So yep. So 2d8 plus 5, plus your unarmed damage.
Plus, so you said 2d8 plus 2d8 plus 5.
Nice.
So 7.
And unarmed.
12.
Nice.
15, 16, 17, 18. 18 damage.
18 damage. Oh. So close.
Oh, dang it!
All right. As you strike the creature, it burns from the inside. You see it start coughing and spluttering, and the smoke starts to stop and start every now and then, like you'd imagine, like like an engine sort of struggling. It is very angry at you, tiny man. And on its turn, after everyone takes 4 points of burning damage, this is everyone.
Is this his fire damage?
Fire damage, yep.
Sweet, I have resistance 5 to fire damage.
Yep.
Damn.
So does that mean you don't take any?
Yep.
Dang.
From fire, electricity, and cold.
That's insane.
From being a team.
Need to douse. Note to self: douse Darby in acid. Okay. As he does so, he lets go of Khalil. And here's what he does. He takes both of his hands, puts it onto his warhammer, which is a masterwork adamantium warhammer, and takes his heftiest, mightiest swing with all the power into his attack,
And misses.
and rolls a natural 1.
Yes.
Swear to God. By the way, this is going to the audience. Rico, if you're in the chat, I hate you, and I blame you solely for this, because if you are watching this, then that's what's going to happen. Okay. So, yep, all right, natural 1. Fine. I guess he swings at nothing. He swings, and as he does so, Khalil, you're still slightly entangled in the chains, and you manage to pull him, and as he does so, the hammer lands inches away from your head, but it's in the ground and embedded in the ground, so he's having trouble pulling it back out.
Nice.
All right, we then go to Darby.
He looks pretty hurt from what Darby can see.
You look at the corpse. You realize it looks pretty injured.
Okay. I can see it because I'm standing
Yep.
right near it, right? I'm just going
Indeed.
to take a bomb and chuck it in its face. Its stupid dwarf head.
Okay, you do so, throwing your bomb.
How
It
many people are
ignites.
standing around it?
Oh, I assume you do the precision damage.
I can just
By the
do
way,
4.
certain things like that will just always assume you're using precision damage to not hit allies unless you state otherwise for some reason. As the fire strikes its head, it engulfs it in flame. It seems to have no effect on it.
Oops.
It has fire resistance
All right.
too.
Oh, no. This one is fire immunity,
Fire immunity.
Ooh.
which you now know. All right. I feel really bad too because Darby's just had. It's like, yeah, I threw a bomb. Yeah, I got sneezing powder. Yeah, more bombs. And it's like,
No.
what have I done with my life?
I wish I would have
Okay.
frost bombs instead of smoke bombs.
Yeah.
They do cold damage.
Oh.
But I won't
Okay.
use smoke bombs 'cause I want steam.
We then go from Darby to Khalil.
All right. Well, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it again.
Just to hit him, yeah. He's probably really close to
I'm gonna
being
jab
dead.
into him with the shocking grasp attached to my sword.
Mm-hmm.
Good
And
point.
that is a 9.
That's pretty much-
You try to swing, but you realize you're still entangled and find it difficult to be able to get any traction. You slide across the ground and do like those things where breakdancers lie on their back and they sort of spin. That's kind of what you've done. Kudos and well done. Next up, Raylan.
Okay, so I guess I gotta run in there. I'm gonna run in there.
You don't just throw something.
Throw a rock at him.
I don't have anything to throw.
Or shoot something.
Yeah, okay, I'll use my longbow.
All right, roll a
You
percentage
convinced
for me.
her.
Okay.
Oh, percentage die. Oh no.
93.
Oh.
Roll an attack.
Oh my god. 20.
Natural 20?
No.
Oh.
I'm surprised
well-
because I only have a +3.
Okay, as the creature seems to be, you know, kind of almost revigored by Darby's attack, he turns to try and pull his hammer again and gives up on it. Reaching his big clubby fist, he decides, I'm just gonna smash Khalil and finish him off once and for all. And as he does so, an arrow, thwack, lands straight in its forehead, knocking it backwards. And before it has a chance to lurch forward or do anything else, the corpse itself within the chain disappears in a puff of smoke, and chains rattle and fall to the ground. The smoke clears.
I hated that thing.
Thank you, Raymond.
You're welcome, guys. You're welcome. All me.
Definitely. You definitely did the majority of the damage on that one.
So now, we still gotta get this cart somehow.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
lost our scribbles.
Yeah, I hope that Scribbles finished the job before he bolted.
You have a look. He has most certainly not finished. In fact, you feel like he's maybe ruined one of the sigils because he literally dropped his pen and ran.
Oh,
God damn.
However, as you do so and you ponder what the hell you could possibly do, you can roll me a perception check.
He's gonna come back. He loves us. He's gonna come back.
no. Gerald got a 9.
Yeah, 8.
I got a 9.
I got an 8.
Well, we don't perceive crap.
No. You hear thundering sounds seem to be coming from a thick fog that is suddenly around you for some reason, because you have really not noticed it. And this huge hulking figure is snarling. You kind of look and you hear the sounds of bones dragging on the floor.
Oh my god.
As it does
The
so,
frying pan into the fire, right, guys?
It's okay. We'll be
is
fine.
that you?
We'll be fine.
out of the smoke, covered in bones and bodies and viscera, is a very familiar looking large leathery creature.
Hey, Pogo.
It appears to be Pogo.
How you doing?
And he sees you, his tongue falls out, and the tentacles begin to wag.
Oh, he's still okay.
It spits out what appears to be a dead, basically a destroyed skeleton, and it sort of bounds over to you. It looks as though a few of the skeletons and zombies and stuff have sort of, attacked him and latched on, but he's sort of rolled around on them, crushing them against his body, and so they're sort of along for the ride, as it were. As Pogo gets closer and he's really, really happy to see you, you can actually see that he is quite heavily wounded, and there is definitely some struggling to breathe. He, he basically has a lot of bullet wounds throughout his body.
I would like to administer Cure Light Wounds potion on him.
Excellent. You reach to his mouth to pour the potion in, and he licks you from top to bottom with his garbage tongue. Roll a fort save.
16.
With a 16, you do not succeed, as you then start to retch. The smell is indescribable. You have literally had to conduct an experiment where you distilled the smell of burnt hair and undies. And for some reason or another, you did not gag at that. But this has caused you to full-on retch.
All right.
But you do manage to heal him, and as you heal him, he sort of gets happier. Some of the bodies that were sort of like embedded in him sort of fall out, as the wounds start healing up. And in addition, 1d8 plus 1. And as he does so,
He gets 9.
woo! As he does so, he also has a present for you. He sort of coughs. He sort of like you know how cats do it,
Yeah.
like when they're doing a hairball, and then whack, and there's this big ball of green ichor, and embedded in that ichor, this foul-smelling, stenching thing, appears to be 2 arms that are skeletal, bloodied, and carrying 2 guns.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Take the guns to your.
Good
Grab
boy,
the
Pogo.
guns.
Oh.
All right. Now, because the group hadn't actually followed the tabard thing like that, that is where I'm going to be playing the hidden asset. So thank you very much to the person who contributed that one. I do apologize for it taking so long,
Thank you.
but blame them, not me. But yes, they have retrieved Rosenvale's guns. Okay, we've still got a bit of time. Now, because we have 15 minutes till the end of our normal show, I did want to ask both cast and crew if you wanted to go maybe for an extra half an hour just to kind of pad it out and make it the full length of the show. That is entirely up to you guys. It's up to you.
I think I can. No,
Yay,
no.
nay.
I can only go
No,
until
that's
about
fine.
10.
That's fine. Look, I tell you what we'll do as a special thing. We're gonna talk to some people, pull some strings, and see if maybe we can do like a special behind the scenes thing, interview with all the guests and stuff, and put them out for people to watch and enjoy.
Yeah.
You guys like to
Yeah.
Yeah.
meet the meet the characters kind of thing. So yeah, we'll do that. So yeah, all right. So as Pogo arrives, he is happy and he is a little bit more healthy. You have your weapons. Where is your next course of action?
We're gonna attach Pogo to this. Pogo, do you want to drag a cart for us?
Yeah.
Oh,
Good pogo.
Good pogo.
Good Pogo.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go save
Who's a
some
good
people.
boy?
All right.
Let's get you
Who's a
over
good boy?
The breath burns off your eyebrows.
Worth it.
All right, you managed to grab yourself some of the larger harnesses and you attach it to Pogo and the cart. Now, the cart itself, when you actually look at it in more detail, actually has metal plating over the tops, the sides, has barred windows with sliders on it. The wheels are reinforced steel with, this very much looks like a dwarven, kind of dwarven craft, as it were. All right. Now that you are on your wagon, where do you wish to go? Do you wish to go to the lighthouse?
I have a question about so the chain mail's still there, right? The chains and, and so is the giant warhammer, right?
The chains are there. The adamantine warhammer is there. It is a masterwork adamantine warhammer.
Good for me.
That is all.
You should take that.
Oh. Okay.
You could throw it.
I mean, it looks.
You could throw it at things.
How heavy does that warhammer look?
You just look at it as like, this is like what
sort
anyone
of
would use for a weapon.
You lift it and it has some heft to it, but you can definitely carry it.
Want to just keep it just in case, guys?
We need to keep it, yeah.
The chains. Is there anything magical about them? What is the deal with them?
You can have a look. If you use detect magic,
Yes.
you can definitely detect that there is magic on the chains.
Necromantic.
And you can use a spellcraft check if you like.
Okay. Fuck. 13.
13, you have no idea what the magic is on the chains. I mean, you can hang on to them if you want.
Rolled
You can,
2. So lame. Yeah, I'll hang on to
All right,
them
what
so
do
I
you-
can figure out what they if there's something about them or something later on.
All right, how do you store them?
I was just gonna put them on the cart for now.
Oh, so you just throw them in the wagon.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yep. Just want to know if they're in your backpack or if, you want to tie them onto you or whatever the case may be.
I'm gonna figure out what they are
okay.
first.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, you are aboard your wagon, thankfully enough. Hopefully one of you has ride so that you can pilot the wagon.
I most certainly do not.
I mean, no.
No.
I can pretend to do it. I'll try.
Very well. Make a ride check and attempt to pilot Pogo.
What's your dexterity?
12, so 1.
Wait.
My dexterity is 16.
I believe that I can.
Yeah, I was
do
gonna say, I
this.
think we should. Okay.
Khalil is on the front. He has grabbed hold of the reins.
I rolled a 16.
And off you go!
All right.
So we're rescuing the nearest people first?
Yes, let's go save as many people as possible.
Okay, so you're heading to the light. Okay, well, actually, by the time you actually leave that dock, I mean, can we see the Carrion Hill map for a sec, please? Eddie, you there?
Hello.
Do you guys have the Carrion Hill map?
Please.
There we go.
Cool.
Now, you are currently on the northern dock there. Basically, you'll need to follow the road all the way back down, and by the time you've done that, you're actually kind of between all three places. So you're about the same distance to all of them, should you wish to take anyone. Now, just to clarify for our audience at home, and of course our players as well, your current three choices are the Elmway Church, where you would obviously find Neville, the person who you've come here to rescue. He is currently hiding out there waiting for you to arrive. You also have the Crown Manor, beneath of which is the sewers, where you left Rosenvale and about 20 or so civilians. However, it is also the point where the knight undead person was reported heading to. The next is the lighthouse, where you know that there are a sizable group of people awaiting. However, there is a horde of undead that is blocking you from progressing.
Let's go to Crown Manor.
Yeah, I kind of think we should save the other people first before the people in the lighthouse.
I feel like our job here is to get Nevin, but also we should protect the most amount of people we should, so...
Yeah, we are closest to the
guess.
lighthouse right now. We should probably go to the lighthouse first.
We'll go to the lighthouse and we can send them on their way.
Okay. So the lighthouse.
Yeah, we did.
What
kinda
I would think
promise
we
them.
could do is go to the lighthouse and help them. They can go take that and get
Yeah, they can
Nevin,
help.
and then while they're getting Nevin, we go to Crown Manor.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Well, in
I
terms
like
of security, allow me to break it down for you as well, because I think that's also a factor here. The lighthouse seems very secured given the barricade and all of that.
Okay.
It's also a bottleneck, so they aren't really being overwhelmed so much as they're being kind of sieged. Crown Manor, they are basically in a very cramped and tired location. They have no means of defense besides a thin gate. But that being said, they have very capable individuals traveling with them, which offers some semblance of protection. Now, returning to the church, did anyone remember to lock the door on your way out?
Yes. Definitely. Right?
Did one of us be locked the thing underneath, or he did? But
Oh yeah, you absolutely locked the trap door.
Oh no, we definitely didn't lock anything else. I was like, that's what I was thinking of. We definitely locked the trapdoor.
he said he'd be fine.
Yeah.
Those are his words.
He told us he would be fine. Maybe we should go check on him.
We don't know.
I mean, our original contract was to come save him.
Yes, that's a very good point. We are on a job.
There's a lot of people. Who
Regardless
take
of
that.
anything, we must see this job through.
But what about all the other people?
We can save them. We will still save the other people, but we do have. We swore that we would complete this job.
I'm sure he'll be fine. It's just one person. There's like children underneath the manor, and there's children in the lighthouse.
But he is one person.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You can save a lot more than one.
It's not like we have to choose. We can save.
We could save all of them, but if he's possibly in
He's
trouble,
by himself.
he
Everybody
is
else has some
the
sort of
literally
protection.
the entire reason we are here.
How do you feel, Raylan?
I think that we should stop there, grab him, and go to the Crown Manor.
Yes.
We could put him in more danger.
Yeah, but at least
We'll leave him in the car.
yeah.
Fine.
We'll leave him with Pogo.
Pogo does.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So we're going to the church.
We're going to the church.
Very well. Very well. With swift foot underway, you charge, barreling through the hordes of undead as Pogo feasts and throws people away. He is very excited, by the way. If you've ever had the pleasure of having a Labrador pull a sled, that is very similar to the experience you are currently having. As he happily bounds you through the city, you eventually come to the Elmway Church, where you see that the area has been boarded up, but you don't remember doing it.
The church door is boarded up.
So we'll go up to it.
Yep.
We'll wait a second.
Yep.
Knock once. And then pull away.
There seems to be no answer.
Shit.
That was the secret knock.
It
Let's
was.
take- let's
I
take-
can't believe you remember that.
Drop. Let's get these
I'm
doors
very
up.
impressed that you remembered that.
All right, we're gonna break down the doors.
We're gonna break this shit down. No, we're not.
Are you guys gonna help?
I love the bravado suddenly fading away.
I rolled a 3.
I successfully helped.
Is that a plus 2?
Raylan
Yes.
did not.
17.
With a 17, you manage to push aside the barricade and enter the church. Standing there, dressed in robes of Pharasma, is this individual.
What the?
Thank you kindly.
It's a Pharasma.
Do you notice the resemblance?
Oh.
I know, uncanny. It's like I put myself in the game. No, this isn't supposed to be me. Anyway, he turns to you and says, "Oh, how peculiar. I didn't think that there were anyone out in the street. Welcome, please, come in. Allow me to board up the doors.
Well, what happened to
Quickly."
Nevin?
We need to sense the shit out of this
Who are
dude's
you?
motive.
Yeah.
Where's Nevin?
He sort of says, I will answer questions in a moment, but please, we need to stop the undead from coming.
Okay, let's
Sort of gestures and sort of, he moves over to the door, like whether or not you stop him is up to you. He's sort of like, oh god, like, moves over and does.
Yeah.
Okay.
And once he's done, he says, "Oh, well, what were you doing out in the street?"
Saving the city.
Yeah.
Oh, burn.
Good job. No, he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that.
Sarcastically claps.
He says, "Well, my name is Father Obadiah. I'm the priest of Pharasma here.
Where have you been this whole
I
time?
didn't-
Oh yeah, Nevin.
Well, there was a terrible accident. I was attacked while I was boarding and securing this place. Nevin, as you say, is here. Well, somewhere, I hope. I kind of lost track of him, if I'm being honest.
Sense motive.
You see,
so
while we were...
Yeah, we need to sense the shit out
Yeah,
of this dude's
go-
motive.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
That
Like I
is
said,
a 21.
26.
I got 14.
I rolled a natural 20, but
Why can't we do this when we're attacking you guys?
We're just personable
my
people.
sense motive is -1.
So a 19.
But you still rolled a natural 20.
So 19.
Yeah.
So it's 19. Yep. And Raylan?
26.
26. Okay. Raylan, you get the suspicion that there's something off about this person. You and you alone get a will save.
Oh.
I rolled a 1.
Oh,
So
no!
a 6.
All right. So apart from being suspicious, then nothing seems to be particularly out of the ordinary. He's wearing the cleric, because you as a cleric know that he is wearing the tabards, he's wearing the symbols and the symbology and stuff like that. He is obviously speaking, and he obviously doesn't look like any of the bloody zombies that you've come across before. So, I mean, like, he's there. He's all right.
Yeah.
But again, he seems to be lying about something or concealing something. And he says, yes, well, you see, by the way, this next bit is the truth, just so you are aware. He says, I was boarding up the windows, and I tried to get as many people as I could to safety, but I could only see Nevin in the street. I dragged him in and had him help me build the barricade, but well, I was attacked. One of them dragged me out one of the windows. He sort of shows you like his side. He shows you his sides, and you can actually see that he's got some pretty nasty and vicious looking wounds. And he says, if you have any potions to spare, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm well and truly out of spells, and I wouldn't want you to.
I'll give him one.
And he said, and he says, I wouldn't really want to impose on you using your own spells. He says, thank you. He sort of reaches for it, and you notice that his hand is really shaky. And as he reaches to take it, he accidentally strikes the bottle and smashes it out of your hand. Oh, knocks it out of your hand and smashes on the ground. He says, "Oh my! Look, I'm so sorry."
Well.
Guys.
No matter.
There's not much else we can do for you.
No, it's okay. It was my fault entirely. Please allow me to compensate you. That's so clumsy of me. He sort of heads towards the office.
I walk closely behind him.
Okay.
Dobby's gonna.
I want to go run up to the trap door and see.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Geralt's gonna go with Khalil to check on the trap door.
Okay. So as you both head to the trap door, which is obviously in the office as well, the priest sort of sees you, sort of playing around, going to the trap door, and he gestures over to Raylan, like, please, and he sort of takes a small coffer of coin, and he takes about 50 gold out, and he sort of hands it to you, and he says, please take this, and he sort of holds your hand. He sort of holds it out for you to take.
Okay, I take it.
All right. As he sort of puts the coin in your hand, he sort of clasps your hand gently and says, "You are a very kind woman. You're a very gentle woman, and clearly a woman of the cloth. I greatly appreciate, what you are doing to help this city." And as he does so, you notice that his hands start to get tighter and tighter.
I was worried this was going to happen, but
He's
I took the
undead.
bait,
As it does so, you see him sort of say, "But surely you understand that your god has abandoned you? Surely you understand that this whole place is a rotting, festering corpse." And as he says that, his skin seems to dissolve in front of your eyes. His eyes begin to glow with black pits. And you see this creature holding onto your hands fervently. "Allow me to show you the embrace of the grave."
I'll pass.
And that is where we will end for today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for another show. We obviously have our outro, and we will pick up, of course, with what the hell this creature is, why it is so fluent in speaking languages goodness, unlike I am, and of course, that is our show for today. As always, guys, As always, guys, I hope you guys had fun, both in the audience and in our little team here. Did you guys have a good time?
Yes. Heck yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. I had a great time. Sorry I had a bit of a rocky start. Obviously, we had some tech issues and stuff like that. But I think it happens, and I hope the fans are pretty understanding as well. And thank you guys for joining us, by the way. So many people came out. We love having you guys around. Again, if you guys call out for plot twists, that is precisely what you will get. I will throw out a plot twist for the group, and if they tell me about it, because again I can't see Twitch, I will play it because I love doing that sort of stuff. All right, promo time. I am, of course, Michael from Ask A Pathfinder. You can find me on Facebook at Facebook/Ask A Pathfinder. You can also find me and chat to me directly on Discord at www.discord.me/Ask A Pathfinder. I should know where I'm at, right? And of course, follow me on YouTube. YouTube stuff is coming up soon, which again, I will put links in on the page and in the description and all that sort of stuff. And here to tell you a little bit more about the Color Circuit and what really cool stuff they've got going on.
Oh my god, guys, this is me. As always, tomorrow's Sketch Monkey, which is our in-house sketch writing comedy group. Followed by Improv Bagel, which is our baby boy improv comedy podcast, which is also followed by Burn Bagel, which is a more relaxed improv podcasting kind of thing. But more cool than that, guys, we kind of have a website up and in development that's looking cooler and cooler every day. It's not 100% finished because someone hasn't given their photo away, this guy. But everything else is kind of going. We're also working with this really cool new podcast, guys, called Prattlefields. Check them out on SoundCloud. They're a bunch of really cool guys from Michigan, Minnesota, something around that area.
Michigasota.
Michigasota.
They're from the north.
From the north. Yeah, and that's what's going on. So. Cool.
Sweet. All right, guys. Well, thank you again for joining us. All the love to you guys and yours from us and the crew here at Color Circuit. And as always, guys, make sure that you keep your dice rolling and make sure your ideas stay mindworm free. Have a good one, guys.
Peace.